When 287 Navy SEALs found themselves surrounded by over 600 enemy fighters in Afghanistan's treacherous Helmand Valley, command had written them off as acceptable losses. The terrain was too dangerous, the enemy positions too close to friendly forces, and conventional air support simply impossible without causing massive American casualties. But one person refused to accept that 287 American warriors would die that day. Her name was Captain Natalie "Hurricane" Douglas, a 29-year-old A-10 Thunderbolt pilot who everyone said was too reckless, too unconventional, and too inexperienced for real combat missions. What happened next would shatter every assumption about what one determined pilot could accomplish when 287 lives hung in the balance. Quick pause before we continue. Tell us, where in the world are you watching from? If you're enjoying these stories, make sure to hit subscribe, because tomorrow's episode is absolutely mind-blowing. The morning sun cast harsh shadows across Bagram Air Base as Captain Natalie Douglas completed her fourth pre-flight inspection of the week. At 05:45 hours on what promised to be another blistering Afghan morning, she stood beside her A-10 Thunderbolt II, running her hands along the aircraft's titanium armor plating with the methodical precision of someone who understood that attention to detail separated the living from the dead. Natalie was 29 years old, though her determined expression and confident bearing made her appear older. Born in Portland and raised in rural Oregon, she carried herself with the quiet intensity that marked those who had fought for every opportunity they'd received. Her auburn hair was pulled back in a regulation bun, but a few stubborn strands escaped to frame her sharp blue eyes. Eyes that cataloged every detail and remembered every slight. Standing 5 feet 6 inches with an athletic build earned through years of competitive track and field, Natalie possessed the kind of physical conditioning that complemented her mental toughness. She looked perfectly proportioned next to the massive A-10 Warthog, as if she'd been designed specifically to pilot the legendary tank killer. The A-10 was an ungainly beast built for one purpose: delivering devastating close air support to ground forces engaged with enemy fighters. Its 30mm GAU-8 Avenger cannon could shred enemy armor like tissue paper, while its ability to absorb punishment was legendary among military aviation circles. But for all its fearsome reputation, the A-10 demanded a pilot with surgical precision and absolute nerve to achieve maximum effectiveness. Natalie possessed both qualities in abundance, though her squadron leadership seemed determined to focus solely on her perceived shortcomings. Her Oregon accent became more pronounced when she was frustrated or angry, which happened frequently during briefings where her tactical suggestions were politely dismissed or ignored entirely. Her emotional investment in mission success, her visible anger when civilian casualties were deemed acceptable losses, or her habit of questioning intelligence reports that seemed incomplete, had earned her a reputation as someone who allowed personal feelings to compromise professional judgment. "Douglas, you're grounded today," came the familiar voice of Colonel Timothy Palmer as he approached her aircraft. Palmer was everything Natalie wasn't: tall, conventionally authoritative, and possessed of the effortless confidence that came from never having his competence questioned. He'd been commanding the 455th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron for 18 months, with a kind of institutional authority that discouraged debate. "Sir, my aircraft is mission-ready and I'm on the rotation schedule," Natalie replied, not looking up from her maintenance checklist. She'd learned to control her voice during these conversations, though internally she felt the familiar surge of frustrated determination. Change of plans. "We've got a multi-aircraft training exercise with pilots from the 9th Fighter Squadron. I need proven performers in the air, not someone who might get emotional if things become complicated." Palmer's tone carried the casual dismissal of someone discussing weather patterns, rather than grounding a qualified combat pilot based on gender stereotypes that had no basis in performance evaluations. Natalie finally looked up, her blue eyes flashing with controlled anger. "Colonel, I've logged more precision targeting hours than most pilots in this squadron. My close air support accuracy ratings are in the top 3% of theater operations, and I've never failed to respond effectively when ground forces requested assistance." "That's not the issue, Douglas. The 9th Squadron pilots need to observe steady leadership under pressure, not someone who might lose composure if tactical situations become demanding." Palmer shifted his weight, preparing to leave. "Besides, we need someone to coordinate aircraft configuration for the exercise. Your attention to technical details makes you ideal for logistics support." There it was again. Logistics support. The administrative assignment that had derailed numerous promising military aviation careers. Natalie watched Palmer begin to walk away, his casual dismissal hanging in the morning air like jet exhaust. Around her, other pilots were starting their own pre-flight preparations, getting ready for the kind of advanced tactical training she'd been preparing for through months of unauthorized study and simulation work. Instead, she would spend the day ensuring their aircraft were properly configured while they flew missions that matched her extensive preparation. "Sir," Natalie said, raising her voice enough to halt Palmer's retreat, "I'd like to volunteer for the exercise. My mountainous terrain navigation scores exceed squadron standards, and my precision engagement training specifically addresses the kind of challenges you'll encounter today." "Douglas, we've discussed this repeatedly," Palmer interrupted, his tone carrying the patient exasperation reserved for subordinates who refuse to accept simple realities. "This exercise requires pilots with extensive high-stress experience. You're not prepared for this level of operational complexity." "With respect, Colonel, I've logged over 400 hours in combat environments. My targeting accuracy in precision scenarios consistently exceeds benchmark requirements, and my tactical knowledge of Afghan terrain features surpasses most pilots in the squadron. There's a significant difference between flying routine patrols and managing complex air-to-ground coordination under simulated combat stress. This exercise is too important to risk on someone who's never been tested in genuinely demanding tactical situations." The words stung because they contained enough partial truth to be devastating. Natalie had indeed never been tested in sustained high-intensity combat because her commanding officers had consistently decided she wasn't ready for such situations. The circular logic was perfect. She couldn't gain advanced experience because she lacked advanced experience. Major Vanessa Reed approached from her nearby aircraft, her expression showing the uncomfortable sympathy of someone who understood institutional limitations. Reed had survived 15 months in Afghanistan by accepting her assigned roles without challenging established hierarchies. "Natalie, sometimes it's better to demonstrate competence gradually rather than pushing for assignments before the command structure is comfortable with your capabilities," Reed said quietly after Palmer had departed. "Let them see your logistics work, build their confidence slowly, and maybe next rotation you'll get different opportunities." "Next rotation they'll suddenly decide I'm experienced enough?" Natalie asked. "How do I gain complex tactical experience if I'm never assigned to complex tactical missions?" Reed looked uncomfortable, recognizing the logical trap that had constrained her own career advancement. That's just how military systems function. You prove yourself incrementally, establish trust over time, demonstrate reliability in smaller roles before advancing to larger responsibilities. But Natalie had been proving herself incrementally for 14 months without seeing any meaningful change in how her capabilities were evaluated by squadron leadership. She watched the selected pilots discussing flight plans and coordination procedures for an exercise that perfectly matched months of tactical study she'd conducted during off-duty hours. "Colonel," she attempted once more, "I've analyzed the terrain features in the exercise area extensively. The mountainous approaches present tactical opportunities that could be maximized with better understanding of elevation advantages and sightline optimization." "Douglas, that's enough." Palmer's voice carried the sharp edge of command authority that ended conversations. "Your assignment is aircraft configuration coordination, not tactical analysis. Focus on your designated responsibilities and allow experienced pilots to handle mission planning." The briefing continued around her, but Natalie had stopped actively listening. She watched her squadron colleagues develop strategies and contingencies for an exercise that utilized every tactical principle she'd studied obsessively during unauthorized hours in flight simulators and technical manuals. An exercise she could contribute to significantly if given the opportunity. Instead, she would spend the day verifying weapons configurations and fuel loads, while others flew missions that tested the kind of skills she'd been developing in secret for months. As the tactical display showed the mountainous terrain she'd memorized better than anyone in the briefing room, she made a quiet promise to herself. The next time American lives depended on advanced close air support capabilities, she would be prepared to act regardless of whether her superiors considered her worthy of the opportunity. The maintenance hangar buzzed with the controlled activity of military efficiency as Natalie documented aircraft configurations for the day's training exercise. Around her, maintenance crews prepared fighters for complex tactical scenarios, while she recorded technical specifications and equipment verifications. It was important work, certainly, but it utilized perhaps 10% of her actual capabilities. Staff Sergeant Keith Mills approached with a hydraulics report that required her signature. Mills was a 20-year veteran whose technical expertise commanded respect from every pilot in the squadron. Unlike many of the officers, Mills evaluated people based on their knowledge and competence rather than their conformity to traditional expectations. "Captain, I've been meaning to ask," Mills said as she reviewed his paperwork. "You've been spending considerable time studying our weapons system specifications. Most logistics officers don't dig that deep into technical capabilities." Natalie looked up from the hydraulics report, gauging whether Mills' question carried official suspicion or genuine curiosity. His expression suggested the latter. "I believe understanding our equipment completely makes me better at supporting mission requirements," she replied carefully. "If I know how systems perform under different conditions, I can better anticipate maintenance needs and ensure optimal aircraft readiness." Mills nodded approvingly. That's exactly the kind of thinking that separates good support personnel from great ones. Too many officers learn just enough to complete their immediate tasks without understanding the broader operational picture. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Captain Melody Cross, another female pilot who had achieved survival in the squadron through careful conformity to established expectations. Cross had learned to thrive by accepting limitations rather than challenging them, focusing on assignments deemed appropriate for her rather than pushing for roles that might generate controversy. "Natalie, I heard Palmer grounded you from the exercise," Cross said, her tone carrying sympathetic understanding. "I know how frustrating that must be, but honestly, these big multi-squadron exercises can get pretty chaotic. Maybe it's better to wait for something smaller before pushing for more flight time." "How do you prepare for smaller assignments if you never get experience with larger ones?" Natalie asked. Though she already knew Cross's answer would prioritize career safety over professional growth. "By demonstrating excellence in the roles you're given," Cross replied, her voice carrying the conviction of someone who had found peace with institutional limitations. "Eventually, consistent performance gets noticed and rewarded with expanded opportunities." But Natalie had been demonstrating excellence in assigned roles for over a year without seeing any expansion of those opportunities. Her logistics work was flawless, her technical knowledge exceeded requirements, and her flying skills surpassed many pilots who received regular combat assignments. Yet somehow, excellence in restricted roles never translated into access to unrestricted ones. Mills finished his equipment checks and prepared to leave, but paused as if wrestling with the decision about whether to share additional thoughts. "Captain," he said finally, "I've worked with a lot of pilots over the years, and I can tell when someone has genuine tactical instincts versus someone who's just going through the motions. You ask the right questions. You understand the connections between technical specifications and battlefield performance, and you grasp concepts that most officers never bother learning." He glanced around to ensure their conversation remained private before continuing. "If you're serious about close air support work, you should know that the A-10's capabilities extend well beyond what most pilots realize. The aircraft can perform precision strikes at ranges and accuracies that exceed official specifications if the pilot understands advanced targeting techniques." Mills' words carried the subtle weight of someone offering knowledge that existed outside official channels. Natalie recognized the opportunity for the kind of advanced technical education that might prove crucial when theoretical knowledge needed to become practical application. "I'd be very interested in learning more about advanced targeting techniques," she said carefully, maintaining the kind of professional tone that could justify such conversations if questioned later. "After duty hours, when you're conducting routine equipment familiarization," Mills suggested with the diplomatic phrasing that allowed unofficial training to occur within official parameters. "Understanding advanced technical capabilities definitely falls within the scope of thorough equipment knowledge." As Mills departed, Natalie realized that her months of preparation and study had attracted the attention of at least one person who recognized genuine competence when he observed it. While her commanding officers saw her technical curiosity as inappropriate ambition, Mills understood it as the kind of thorough preparation that separated adequate pilots from exceptional ones. The day's logistics duties continued around her, but now carried the promise of advanced technical training that might prove invaluable when knowledge needed to transform into action. Because despite her superiors' consistent dismissal of her capabilities, Natalie remained convinced that circumstances would eventually require someone with her particular combination of skills, preparation, and absolute refusal to accept that difficult missions were impossible. Telling and preparing this story took us a lot of time, so if you're enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. The flight simulator bay at 0200 hours was supposedly secured for the night, but Staff Sergeant Keith Mills had taught Natalie how to bypass the electronic locks 3 weeks earlier. The darkened facility hummed with the quiet efficiency of machines that required no rest, much like the pilot who operated them during unauthorized hours when oversight was minimal. Tonight's training scenario pushed her abilities beyond anything covered in standard operating procedures, testing skills that existed in the gray area between official doctrine and combat necessity. Mills had programmed a close air support mission that would have challenged veteran pilots with thousands of combat hours. Mountainous terrain that created unpredictable wind patterns, multiple friendly units scattered across impossible geography, and enemy positions so close to American forces that conventional engagement protocols became useless. The scenario was designed to develop the kind of surgical precision that separated competent pilots from legendary ones. Havoc Base, this is Thunder 6 requesting immediate close air support, came the recorded voice through her headset, modified by Mills to create realistic communication static. We have 200+ friendly personnel pinned down in Grid Square Delta 847. Enemy positions are danger close, repeat, danger close, to our location. Natalie's hands moved across the controls with practiced fluency, her targeting systems locked onto simulated enemy positions that were positioned within 30 meters of trapped American forces. Standard doctrine demanded minimum engagement distances of 100 meters to prevent friendly casualties, but this scenario required precision that exceeded official safety margins. Her first simulated attack run eliminated a heavy weapons position that had been suppressing friendly movement for the fictional scenario. The GAU-8 cannon's computer-generated fire struck exactly where intended, neutralizing the threat without endangering nearby Americans. Banking into a steep turn that pushed the limits of the A-10's maneuverability, she lined up on her second target. Mills watched from the observer station, occasionally calling out additional complications that forced her to adapt her approach in real time. Thunder 6, be advised you have inbound surface-to-air missiles from the northern ridge. Recommend immediate, evasive action. Instead of breaking off her attack run, Natalie used the A-10's legendary toughness to absorb simulated missile damage while maintaining target acquisition on enemy positions. The aircraft could survive hits that would destroy faster, less durable planes, and she was learning to exploit that survivability to maintain offensive pressure even under direct attack. Outstanding target acquisition, Mills commented as the simulation concluded. You maintained precision while taking defensive fire, kept your weapons trained on priority targets, and created escape routes for the trapped personnel. That's the kind of performance that saves lives when conventional tactics fail. The compliment carried special weight coming from a veteran who had supported countless close air support missions. Mills understood the difference between academic knowledge and practical application, between pilots who could pass tests and pilots who could save lives under impossible circumstances. Sergeant, I've been studying enemy tactical patterns in the eastern provinces, Natalie said as they shut down the simulation equipment. Intelligence reports suggest coordinated movements that exceed what we typically see from local insurgent groups. Mills, expression shifted to professional attention. What kind of coordination? Natalie pulled out a tablet displaying analysis she'd compiled from classified intelligence summaries that technically fell within her security clearance. Movement patterns suggest systematic efforts to isolate forward operating positions, creating situations where conventional rescue protocols become inadequate. They're not just attacking our people, they're learning to trap them. The maintenance sergeant studied her data visualization with the kind of focused attention that recognized genuine tactical insight. This looks like someone's been studying American doctrine and developing countermeasures specifically designed to exploit our response patterns. Exactly. They know we'll send rescue forces if they isolate our personnel, so they're positioning themselves in terrain that makes traditional air support impossible or extremely dangerous to attempt. Mills handed back her tablet with an expression of concern. Have you briefed this analysis to intelligence personnel? I've tried, multiple times. The response is always that tactical analysis falls outside my assigned responsibilities, and that I should focus on logistics coordination rather than strategic assessment. The frustration in her voice reflected months of having legitimate tactical insights dismissed because they came from someone whose official role didn't include intelligence analysis. Her security clearance provided access to the raw data, but her institutional position prevented anyone from taking her conclusions seriously. "Captain," Mills said carefully, "there are people in this command who need to see this analysis, regardless of your official assignment. This isn't about career advancement or recognition. This is about American lives." 3 days later, Master Sergeant Ruby Lane found herself reviewing Natalie's intelligence compilation in the classified section of the Base Intelligence Center. Lane was a 15-year veteran whose analytical skills had earned respect throughout the command structure. Unlike many personnel who dismissed input based on the source's rank or assignment, Lane evaluated information based on its accuracy and relevance. "Captain Douglas, this is impressive work," Lane said, studying the tactical projections displayed on multiple monitors. "Your analysis of enemy movement patterns shows sophisticated understanding of both their capabilities and our vulnerabilities." Natalie felt cautious optimism at finally receiving serious evaluation of her intelligence work. "Master Sergeant, I believe we're facing an enemy that has studied our rescue protocols and developed specific countermeasures designed to maximize American casualties when our people get into trouble." Lane nodded gravely. "Your assessment matches classified reports I've been receiving from multiple sources. Enemy forces are demonstrating coordination and tactical sophistication that suggests centralized planning and advanced training." The Intelligence Center buzzed with the controlled activity of analysts processing information from across the theater of operations. Digital displays showed troop movements, weather patterns, and the kind of real-time data that transformed military operations from theoretical planning into life-and-death decision-making. Lieutenant Sierra Ford approached their workstation with additional classified materials that supported Natalie's analysis. Ford was young for her position but had demonstrated analytical capabilities that earned her rapid advancement through the intelligence hierarchy. "Ma'am, these intercepts confirm what Captain Douglas has been tracking," Ford said, spreading communication transcripts across their secure workspace. "Enemy forces are using terminology that suggests coordinated operations rather than independent insurgent activities." Natalie studied the intercepted communications, recognizing tactical language that indicated sophisticated command structures and operational planning. "They're not just reacting to our presence. They're actively trying to create situations where our people will be trapped beyond the reach of effective assistance." Lane's expression darkened as she processed the implications. "Captain, we need to get this information to Operational Command immediately. If your assessment is correct, we have special operations units deploying into areas that may have been specifically prepared as kill zones." The briefing room where Lane presented Natalie's analysis to senior leadership 3 hours later carried the institutional weight of decisions that affected hundreds of American lives. Colonel Nathan Burns, the Special Operations Commander, reviewed the intelligence compilation with the kind of focused attention that suggested he understood the stakes involved. This analysis indicates that enemy forces have developed specific tactics designed to isolate our personnel in terrain where conventional rescue operations become extremely difficult or impossible, Burns said, his voice carrying the gravity of someone who regularly sent people into harm's way. "Here were I." General Linda Stone, the base commander, studied the tactical projections with 25 years of military experience that had taught her to recognize genuine threats regardless of their source. "Master Sergeant Lane, what's your assessment of this intelligence's reliability?" "Ma'am, the analysis demonstrates sophisticated understanding of both enemy capabilities and American doctrine. The tactical projections match patterns we're observing throughout the region, and the source demonstrates expertise that exceeds what we typically expect from logistics personnel." Colonel Palmer, attending the briefing as squadron representative, shifted uncomfortably as the discussion focused on intelligence analysis produced by one of his pilots. "General, while I appreciate Captain Douglas's enthusiasm for expanding her knowledge beyond assigned duties, tactical intelligence should be evaluated by personnel with appropriate training and experience." "Colonel," General Stone replied sharply, "I'm less concerned with who produced this analysis than with whether it's accurate. If enemy forces are developing tactics specifically designed to trap our people beyond the reach of effective assistance, we need to understand and counter those tactics regardless of their source." Natalie sat in the back of the briefing room, officially present to provide technical clarification if requested, but actually witnessing the first time her tactical insights were being evaluated seriously by senior leadership. The discussion continued around her as experienced officers debated the implications of intelligence she had compiled during unauthorized hours of analysis. Captain Braden Holland, the F-16 pilot who had been selected for missions Natalie was deemed unqualified to fly, studied her projections with grudging professional interest. These terrain assessments showed detailed understanding of sightlines and elevation advantages that could be crucial for air-to-ground operations. The analysis also indicates that enemy positions are being established specifically to create overlapping fields of fire while remaining too close to trapped personnel for conventional bombing runs, quote, added Major Reed, whose earlier advice about gradual career advancement now seemed less relevant as Natalie's expertise proved valuable for immediate operational concerns. Burns concluded the briefing with the kind of decisive authority that characterized Special Operations leadership. I want this intelligence incorporated into planning for all Eastern Province operations. Master Sergeant Lane, coordinate with Captain Douglas to ensure our deployment strategies account for these enemy tactical developments. As the senior officers filed out of the briefing room, Natalie realized that her months of unauthorized intelligence analysis had finally earned recognition from people whose decisions affected American lives in combat. But she also understood that recognition came with responsibility. If her assessments were wrong, people would die because leadership had trusted her judgment. General Stone approached her as the briefing room emptied. Captain, your analysis demonstrates capabilities that extend well beyond your current assignment. I'm authorizing Master Sergeant Lane to coordinate with you on intelligence preparation for upcoming Special Operations deployments. The authorization represented the kind of expanded responsibility Natalie had been seeking, but it also carried implications she hadn't fully considered. Her tactical insights would now influence decisions about where American warriors would be sent into combat, and the accuracy of her analysis would directly affect their chances of survival. Colonel Palmer lingered after the general's departure, his expression carrying the complex mixture of acknowledgement and concern that came from watching a subordinate exceed the boundaries of their assigned role. Douglas, this intelligence work demonstrates impressive analytical skills, but I hope you understand that tactical success requires more than theoretical knowledge. Yes, sir, I understand that knowledge must be tested under actual combat conditions to prove its value. Palmer's response carried the weight of command experience that had taught him to balance recognition with realistic assessment. Theoretical understanding and practical application are different things entirely. Don't let academic success convince you that you're prepared for operational challenges that require experience you haven't yet gained. As Natalie walked back to her quarters that evening, she reflected on the day's developments. Her intelligence analysis had earned serious attention from senior leadership, expanding her role beyond logistics coordination for the first time since arriving in Afghanistan. But Palmer's warning reminded her that proving her tactical theories under actual combat conditions would require opportunities that command structure remained reluctant to provide. The evening briefing materials waiting in her quarters included deployment schedules for special operations units that would be operating in areas her analysis had identified as potentially dangerous. American warriors would be conducting missions in terrain that enemy forces may have specifically prepared as traps, and her intelligence assessments would influence how those missions were planned and supported. Staff Sergeant Mills found her reviewing the deployment schedules with the kind of intense focus that suggested professional stakes had become personal responsibilities. Captain, how does it feel to have your intelligence work taken seriously by command? Terrifying, she replied honestly. If I'm wrong about enemy tactics or terrain assessment, people are going to die because leadership trusted my analysis. Mills nodded approvingly. That's exactly the right attitude. Intelligence work isn't academic exercise. It's about providing information that keeps American warriors alive and helps them complete their missions successfully. The deployment schedules showed multiple special operations units conducting missions in the mountainous regions her analysis had identified as high-risk areas. Teams of highly trained professionals would be operating in terrain where enemy forces may have established kill zones specifically designed to trap and eliminate American personnel beyond the reach of conventional rescue operations. Sergeant, if my tactical projections prove accurate and our people get into trouble in those areas, what kind of air support capabilities would be required to extract them? Mills considered the question with the technical expertise that came from supporting countless combat operations. The kind of precision close air support that pushes aircraft and pilots beyond standard performance parameters. Extreme accuracy at danger close ranges, ability to operate under heavy defensive fire, and willingness to attempt missions that conventional doctrine considers too risky to authorize. The conversation carried implications that both of them understood without explicit acknowledgement. If American forces became trapped in the scenarios Natalie's intelligence analysis had identified, their rescue would require exactly the kind of precision combat skills she had been developing through unauthorized training sessions. As Mills departed, Natalie returned to her tactical studies with renewed understanding of why her preparation might prove crucial. Her intelligence analysis was now influencing deployment decisions, which meant she bore partial responsibility for the safety of American warriors operating in areas she had identified as dangerous. If those assessments proved correct, and rescue operations became necessary, she intended to be prepared to provide the kind of support that might save lives regardless of whether command structure deemed her officially qualified for such missions. The emergency radio transmission crackled through the communications center at 1,347 hours on a Tuesday that had started with routine patrol reports and weather updates. Senior Airman Grant Boyd's voice carried the sharp edge of urgent communication as he relayed incoming distress calls to the duty officer on station. Control, this is Falcon 2-7 requesting immediate extraction support. We have 12 personnel trapped on Elevation 4, 200 in Grid Square, Bravo 632. Enemy forces have established overlapping fields of fire from multiple positions. Standard helicopter extraction is not possible due to hostile surface-to-air capability. Master Sergeant Ruby Lane looked up from her intelligence workstation with the kind of recognition that came from watching theoretical analysis transform into battlefield reality. The location, tactical situation, and enemy positioning matched exactly what Natalie's intelligence assessment had predicted 3 weeks earlier. American forces were trapped in terrain that had been specifically prepared as a kill zone. "Grant, get me Captain Douglas immediately," Lane commanded, her voice carrying the urgency of someone who understood that academic predictions had become life-and-death emergencies. Her intelligence analysis predicted this exact scenario. Natalie arrived at the communications center within 4 minutes, still carrying the maintenance report she'd been completing when Boyd's summons reached her. The tactical display showed 12 Special Forces personnel pinned down in mountainous terrain that she had identified as high risk during her unauthorized analysis work. "Master Sergeant, this matches the tactical pattern I've been tracking," Natalie said, studying the digital representation of the battlefield. "Enemy positions are established to create crossfire while remaining too close to our personnel for conventional air support." Chief Warrant Officer Clay Webb, the helicopter pilot who would normally handle such extractions, stood beside the communications console with the frustrated expression of someone whose aircraft couldn't approach the landing zone without being destroyed by enemy missiles. "Captain, I can't get close enough for rope extraction," Webb explained, his voice tight with the professional frustration of being unable to help trapped Americans. "They've got SAM sites positioned to cover all possible approach routes, and the terrain doesn't provide any defilade that would protect my aircraft during insertion or extraction." The tactical situation was deteriorating rapidly. Falcon 2-7 reported increasing enemy pressure and diminishing ammunition supplies. Their position offered minimal cover against coordinated attack from elevated positions, and conventional close air support couldn't engage targets that were positioned within 50 meters of trapped American personnel. Lieutenant Sierra Ford approached the tactical display with additional intelligence that confirmed the broader implications of what they were witnessing. "Ma'am, we're receiving similar reports from 2 other locations in the eastern provinces. Enemy forces appear to be executing coordinated operations designed to isolate our personnel in areas where traditional rescue protocols become ineffective." General Linda Stone entered the communications center with Colonel Palmer and Colonel Burns. Drawn by reports that American forces were facing exactly the scenarios Natalie's intelligence work had identified as probable enemy tactics. "What's the current situation?" Stone demanded, her command presence immediately focusing everyone's attention on essential information. "Ma'am, we have 12 Special Forces personnel trapped in terrain that perfectly matches Captain Douglas's intelligence projections," Lane reported. "Enemy forces have positioned themselves to prevent helicopter extraction while maintaining positions too close to our people for conventional bombing runs." Stone studied the tactical display with 25 years of experience that had taught her to recognize when theoretical analysis met battlefield reality. "Colonel Burns, what are our options for extracting these people?" Burns reviewed the tactical situation with the kind of systematic analysis that characterized special operations leadership. General, conventional approaches won't work. The enemy has created a situation where our standard rescue protocols actually increase danger to trapped personnel rather than reducing it. Colonel Palmer examined the intelligence reports with growing concern about the accuracy of predictions he had dismissed as inappropriate analysis from unqualified personnel. Captain Douglas, your assessment indicates this is part of a coordinated strategy rather than isolated incident? Yes, sir. Intelligence patterns suggest enemy forces have been studying American rescue doctrine and developing specific countermeasures designed to maximize casualties when our personnel require extraction support. The communications center buzzed with activity as additional reports confirmed that multiple American units were facing similar tactical situations across the region. The enemy wasn't simply reacting to American operations. They were proactively creating kill zones where American forces would be trapped beyond the reach of effective assistance. Captain Braden Holland approached the tactical display with the flight suit and equipment that indicated he was preparing for immediate deployment. General, my F-16 flight can provide precision strikes against enemy positions that are sufficiently separated from friendly forces. How close can you engage to our trapped personnel? Stone asked, though her expression suggested she already anticipated the limitations. Ma'am, minimum safe distance is 100 meters for precision-guided munitions. Anything closer creates unacceptable risk of friendly casualties. Natalie studied the tactical display, calculating distances and elevation advantages that she had memorized during months of unauthorized terrain analysis. General, most enemy positions are within 75 meters of Falcon 27's location. F-16 capabilities won't be sufficient to create an extraction corridor. Stone turned toward her with the kind of focused attention that suggested critical decisions were being influenced by tactical advice from unexpected sources. Captain, what would be required to provide effective close air support in this situation? Ma'am, the mission would require precision engagement at danger-close ranges using aircraft designed specifically for close air support rather than strategic bombing. The A-10's GAU-8 cannon can provide surgical accuracy that exceeds the capabilities of precision-guided munitions. Colonel Palmer interjected with the institutional caution that had governed his leadership decisions throughout his career. General, Captain Douglas is describing mission parameters that exceed standard safety protocols and require combat experience that she doesn't possess. But before Stone could respond, Boyd's voice crackled through the communications system with an update that eliminated time for extended debate about authorization and experience requirements. Control, Falcon 27 reports they are down to 15 minutes of ammunition and taking casualties. Request any available support immediately or they will be overrun. 15 minutes. That was how long 12 American warriors had before their position was overwhelmed by enemy forces, while command debated whether unconventional rescue attempts were authorized or appropriate. Major Vanessa Reed stepped forward with the kind of decisive input that characterized pilots who understood tactical realities. General, the A-10 is specifically designed for close air support missions that other aircraft can't handle. If Captain Douglas has the precision skills necessary for danger-close engagement, she may be our only option for creating an extraction corridor. Stone looked around the communications center at the faces of officers who had spent years following established procedures that were proving inadequate for the tactical situation they now faced. Conventional wisdom suggested that untested pilots shouldn't attempt missions that challenged experienced aviators, but conventional approaches were failing to save American lives. Captain Douglas, can you provide the precision strikes necessary to extract those 12 personnel? The question carried the weight of command decision that would define both their careers and the lives of trapped Americans. Natalie looked at the tactical display showing enemy positions that were closer to friendly forces than anyone had ever attempted to engage with the A-10's cannon systems. Yes, ma'am, I can create an extraction corridor that will allow Chief Webb to extract Falcon 27 without acceptable risk to our personnel. Palmer stepped closer to Stone with the institutional responsibility that came from commanding the officer whose unauthorized mission might save lives or create catastrophic casualties. General, I must advise against authorizing an untested pilot to attempt a mission that challenges our most experienced aviators. Colonel, our most experienced aviators can't provide the precision required for this mission, Stone replied sharply. If Captain Douglas can save 12 American lives using capabilities that conventional approaches can't match, then experience becomes less relevant than results. The authorization was unprecedented, a relatively inexperienced pilot receiving permission to attempt close air support at ranges that exceeded all safety protocols. But as Boyd's radio continued transmitting increasingly desperate updates from Falcon 2-7, conventional safety considerations seemed less important than immediate survival necessities. Staff Sergeant Keith Mills approached with pre-flight equipment and aircraft status reports that indicated he had been preparing for exactly this possibility. Captain, Aircraft 401 is configured for precision close air support with full ammunition load and optimal weather conditions for target acquisition. How did you know to prepare the aircraft? Stone asked, with the sharp attention of someone who recognized that preparation suggested advanced planning. Ma'am, Captain Douglas has been conducting advanced close air support training during off-duty hours. When intelligence reports started matching her tactical projections, I ensured we had aircraft ready for precision missions that might be required. Stone's expression shifted to one of grudging respect for preparation that had anticipated emergency requirements. Captain, you've been training for this specific mission scenario? Yes, ma'am. I've been developing precision targeting techniques for close air support at danger close ranges, using advanced understanding of the A-10's capabilities that extend beyond standard operating parameters. Colonel Burns approached the tactical display with special operations experience that had taught him to evaluate capabilities based on results rather than credentials. General, if Captain Douglas has been specifically preparing for close air support missions in mountainous terrain against targets positioned at danger close ranges, she may possess exactly the specialized skills required for this extraction. The decision crystallized with the kind of clarity that emerged when theoretical preparation met immediate necessity. Natalie had spent months developing skills that command structure had dismissed as inappropriate ambition, but those skills now represented the only viable option for saving 12 American lives. Captain Douglas, you are authorized to conduct close air support for the extraction of Falcon 2-7, Stone announced with command authority that ended debate. Chief Webb, coordinate with Captain Douglas for extraction operations immediately following target elimination. As Natalie headed toward the flight line with equipment that Mills had prepared for exactly this contingency, she realized that months of unauthorized preparation were finally being tested under the kind of combat conditions that separated theoretical knowledge from practical capability. 12 American warriors were counting on precision skills she had developed in secret, and the success or failure of her unauthorized training would be measured in lives saved or lost. Behind her, the communications center continued coordinating rescue operations, while senior officers who had questioned her qualifications now depended on her abilities to prove that unconventional approaches could succeed, where traditional methods had failed. The tactical situation that had validated her intelligence analysis now required her combat skills to demonstrate that preparation could overcome experience when lives hung in the balance. Aircraft 401 sat on the tarmac with the kind of predatory stillness that characterized machines designed for violence but waiting for purpose. Mills had configured the A-10 with maximum ammunition loads and optimal fuel distribution for extended loiter time over the target area. Every system had been checked and verified to ensure peak performance when precision became the difference between mission success and friendly casualties. As Natalie completed her pre-flight inspection with unusual speed, she could hear radio transmissions from Falcon 2-7 growing more desperate as their ammunition supplies dwindled and enemy forces pressed closer to their position. 12 American lives depended on her ability to transform months of theoretical training into combat performance under conditions that would challenge veteran pilots. The moment she had been preparing for had finally arrived, carrying with it the weight of proving that unconventional preparation could succeed where traditional approaches had failed. In 8 minutes, she would be airborne, and heading toward her first real test of whether unauthorized training could save American lives when authorized methods proved inadequate. Aircraft 401 lifted off from Bagram Air Base at 1,356 hours, with the smooth authority of a machine designed for violence finally being used for its intended purpose. Natalie climbed to 12,000 feet and set course for Grid Square Bravo 632, her hands steady on the controls despite the magnitude of what she was attempting. Below her, the Afghan landscape stretched in harsh beauty toward mountains that concealed 12 American warriors whose lives now depended on precision she had developed in secret. The flight to the target area took 9 minutes, during which she monitored increasingly desperate radio traffic from Falcon 27. Their team leader's voice carried professional calm that barely concealed the urgency of watching ammunition supplies dwindle, while enemy forces advanced on their position from multiple directions. "Control, this is Falcon 27 Actual," came the transmission through her headset. "We have enemy movement from 3 directions. Estimate 8 minutes before our position is overrun. Request immediate air support on designated targets." Natalie keyed her radio, knowing that her transmission would be monitored by every American unit in the theater. "Falcon 27, this is Hurricane 401, inbound to your location. Maintain your infrared strobes and prepare to designate primary threats." The tactical situation became clear as the mountainous terrain emerged ahead of her aircraft. Falcon 27 occupied a rocky depression surrounded by elevated positions that provided perfect firing angles for enemy forces. Muzzle flashes marked hostile locations along 3 ridgelines, creating crossfire that had turned the valley floor into a killing zone, exactly as her intelligence analysis had predicted. Her targeting systems locked onto the battlefield with digital precision that transformed the chaos of combat into mathematical problems with engineering solutions. Enemy positions appeared as thermal signatures against the cold stone of mountain ridges. Their locations measured in meters and degrees that her weapon systems could translate into precise targeting coordinates. "Hurricane 401, this is Bagram Control." Colonel Palmer's voice crackled through her headset with the sharp authority of command oversight. "You are cleared hot for precision strikes. Maintain minimum safe distance from friendly positions." Natalie switched to the tactical frequency that connected her directly with the trapped Americans. "Falcon 27, this is Hurricane 401 beginning attack run. Mark your closest enemy threats with laser designation." A brilliant pinpoint of light appeared on the eastern ridge where a heavy machine gun position had been suppressing American movement for the past hour. The target was positioned 67 meters from Falcon 27's location, well within the danger close range that had prevented conventional air support from engaging. Banking into a steep dive that brought her aircraft screaming toward the valley floor at speeds that challenged the A-10's design parameters, Natalie lined up her first targeting solution with surgical precision. Her GAU-8 cannon fired in controlled bursts that sent 30mm rounds into the rocky outcropping with accuracy that exceeded the aircraft's official specifications. The enemy position disappeared in a cloud of debris and smoke, its threat eliminated without endangering nearby American personnel. The destruction was so precise that radio chatter from Falcon 27 carried genuine amazement at witnessing close air support at ranges they had never seen attempted. "Hurricane 401, that's a direct hit on primary target," came the voice of the team leader, now tinged with hope rather than resignation. "We have movement on the northern slope, approximately 55 meters from our position." 55 meters. Closer than anyone had ever engaged with the A-10's cannon in recorded combat history. Natalie rolled into her second attack run with movements that flowed from months of unauthorized simulation training, her aircraft dancing through defensive fire with the kind of aggressive maneuvering that pushed both machine and pilot beyond conventional limits. Surface-to-air missiles streaked past her cockpit as enemy forces desperately tried to eliminate the aircraft that was systematically destroying their carefully planned ambush. Instead of breaking off her attack to evade the missiles, Natalie used the A-10's legendary survivability to absorb hits while maintaining target acquisition on threats that were actively killing trapped Americans. Her second burst of cannon fire swept across the northern slope like surgical lightning, eliminating enemy fighters who had been advancing toward Falcon 27's position. The precision was so exact that friendly forces reported debris from destroyed enemy positions landing within meters of their location, without causing American casualties. "Outstanding target prosecution," came Chief Webb's voice as his helicopter approached the now secured landing zone. "Hurricane 401 has eliminated primary threats and created extraction corridor. Falcon 27, prepare for immediate extraction." The rescue helicopter descended into terrain that had been a death trap 9 minutes earlier but was now safe enough for standard extraction operations. Natalie maintained overwatch as 12 American warriors moved quickly toward Webb's aircraft, their survival made possible by precision strikes at ranges that military doctrine considered impossible. "Hurricane 401, this is Falcon 27 Actual," came came the final transmission as the last American personnel boarded the extraction helicopter. Your precision fire support just saved 12 lives. That was the finest display of close air support any of us have ever witnessed. The flight back to Bagram took 11 minutes, during which Natalie processed what had just occurred. She had successfully conducted combat operations at danger close ranges that challenged everything military aviation considered safe or practical. Her months of unauthorized preparation had translated into battlefield performance that saved American lives when conventional approaches had proven inadequate. But more importantly, she had proven that the tactical scenarios her intelligence analysis had predicted were not only accurate but represented a broader pattern of enemy strategy designed to trap American forces beyond the reach of traditional rescue operations. The success of her first authorized combat mission validated both her analytical capabilities and her precision flying skills. The landing at Bagram Air Base 43 minutes after takeoff was unlike any she had experienced previously. Ground crews who had monitored her mission through radio communications approached Aircraft 401 with expressions ranging from professional admiration to barely concealed amazement at what they had witnessed through tactical frequencies. Colonel Palmer was waiting beside the aircraft as she shut down her engines, his expression carrying the complex mixture of acknowledgement and concern that came from watching assumptions about pilot capabilities being shattered by battlefield results. "Captain Douglas, that was exceptional precision under extremely challenging conditions," Palmer said as she climbed down from her cockpit. "Your targeting accuracy at those ranges exceeded anything I've seen in 20 years of combat aviation." The compliment carried special significance coming from an officer who had consistently questioned her readiness for advanced tactical operations. But Palmer's next words reminded her that success in one mission didn't automatically translate to expanded opportunities in military hierarchies that prioritized gradual advancement over demonstrated capability. "However, I want you to understand that this mission represented an exceptional circumstance requiring unconventional approaches. Don't assume that today's success qualifies you for similar operations without additional experience and training." General Stone approached their conversation with the kind of command presence that focused attention on essential matters rather than institutional protocols. "Captain, your intelligence analysis predicted this exact tactical scenario, and your combat performance provided the precision required to resolve it successfully. That combination of analytical capability and operational skill is exactly what we need for the threats we're facing." Master Sergeant Ruby Lane joined the discussion with intelligence reports that placed the day's successful mission in broader context. "Ma'am, we're receiving confirmation that enemy forces are implementing similar tactics throughout the eastern provinces. Multiple American units are being isolated in terrain where conventional rescue protocols become inadequate." Stone studied the intelligence summaries with the kind of focused attention that suggested important decisions were being influenced by information that challenged established operational assumptions. "Master Sergeant, are you indicating that today's mission represents the beginning of a broader tactical challenge rather than an isolated incident?" "Yes, ma'am. Enemy forces appear to be systematically creating situations where our personnel will be trapped beyond the reach of standard air support capabilities. Captain Douglas's success today demonstrates that we have the technical means to counter these tactics if we're willing to employ precision capabilities that exceed normal operational parameters." Colonel Burns approached the group with special operations experience that had taught him to evaluate tactical innovations based on their potential for saving American lives rather than their conformity to established procedures. "General, if enemy forces are developing coordinated strategies to isolate our personnel in areas where conventional rescue becomes impossible, we need pilots capable of providing the kind of precision support that Captain Douglas demonstrated today." The conversation was developing implications that extended well beyond the successful rescue of 12 Special Forces personnel. Natalie realized that her combat performance was being evaluated not just as an individual achievement, but as a potential model for countering enemy tactics that threatened American operations throughout the theater. Major Reed approached with flight operations reports that provided additional context for assessing the significance of the day's mission. "General, Captain Douglas's targeting accuracy at danger close ranges exceeded our most optimistic projections for A-10 capabilities. Her precision strikes created extraction opportunities that no other available aircraft could have provided." Stone's response carried the weight of command decisions that would affect how American forces approached similar tactical challenges in the future. "Major, what would be required to develop additional pilots with similar precision capabilities?" Ma'am, that would require extensive training in advanced targeting techniques that go beyond standard close air support doctrine. Captain Douglas has developed skills through intensive study and simulation work that most pilots haven't attempted. Staff Sergeant Mills stepped forward with technical analysis that provided engineering perspective on what they had just witnessed. General, the targeting solutions Captain Douglas achieved today required understanding of aircraft capabilities that extends beyond official specifications. She's developed techniques that maximize the A-10's precision potential in ways that standard training doesn't address. The technical discussion was interrupted by Senior Airman Boyd's approach with communication equipment and urgent expression that suggested new developments requiring immediate attention. Ma'am, we're receiving priority traffic from multiple units reporting tactical situations similar to what Falcon 27 encountered. Stone turned toward Boyd with the sharp focus of someone who recognized that single incidents were becoming patterns requiring systematic response. Grant, how many units are reporting similar tactical situations? Ma'am, we have reports from 4 different locations indicating American personnel trapped in terrain where enemy positions prevent conventional air support. The tactical scenarios match what Captain Douglas predicted in her intelligence analysis. The implications crystallized with uncomfortable clarity. Enemy forces weren't simply reacting to American operations. They were proactively implementing coordinated strategies designed to trap American personnel in situations where traditional rescue doctrine would prove inadequate. The successful rescue of 12 Special Forces personnel represented tactical validation, but it also demonstrated that larger challenges were emerging. Colonel Palmer studied the communication reports with growing understanding that individual success needed to be evaluated within broader operational context. General, if multiple units are facing similar tactical situations, we may need to reconsider our approach to close air support operations in mountainous terrain. But before Stone could respond, Boyd's radio crackled with a transmission that transformed tactical discussion into immediate crisis management. The voice that emerged carried the kind of professional urgency that indicated routine operations had become life-and-death emergencies. Control, this is Neptune Base. We have a major situation developing in the Helmand Valley. Request immediate conference with senior leadership regarding special operations units in contact with overwhelming enemy forces. Stone's expression shifted to the kind of command focus that characterized responses to crisis situations that exceeded normal operational parameters. Grant, patch Neptune Base through to the command center immediately. All senior staff operational briefing in 5 minutes. As the group moved toward the command center, Natalie realized that her successful rescue mission had occurred at the beginning of a broader tactical challenge rather than as an isolated incident. The precision capabilities she had developed through months of unauthorized preparation were about to be tested on a scale that would determine whether unconventional approaches could succeed when conventional methods proved inadequate for saving American lives. The tactical situation that had validated her intelligence predictions and combat skills was expanding into something larger and more dangerous. American forces were facing coordinated enemy strategies designed to exploit the limitations of traditional rescue doctrine, and her demonstrated abilities might represent the only viable response to threats that challenged everything military aviation considered safe or practical. The emergency operations briefing convened at 1430 hours in the secure conference room, where digital displays showed a tactical nightmare unfolding across Afghanistan's eastern provinces. General Linda Stone stood at the head of the polished table, while senior officers filed in with expressions that suggested routine intelligence updates had transformed into crisis management sessions requiring immediate decisions about American lives. Colonel Nathan Burns approached the central display with intelligence reports that painted a picture far more dangerous than anyone had anticipated. General, we have confirmation of coordinated enemy operations targeting multiple special operations deployments simultaneously. This isn't random insurgent activity, it's systematic warfare designed to eliminate our most capable personnel. The tactical map illuminated with red indicators, showing American forces under attack at 7 different locations throughout the mountainous regions. Natalie's analysis had identified as high-risk areas. Each position represented teams of elite warriors trapped in terrain specifically prepared to prevent conventional rescue operations. Master Sergeant Ruby Lane stepped forward with intelligence summaries that transformed individual incidents into recognizable patterns of enemy strategy. Ma'am, intercepted communications confirm that enemy forces have been planning these operations for months. They've studied our deployment patterns, response protocols, and air support capabilities to create situations where our standard procedures become liabilities rather than assets. Lieutenant Commander Owen Tucker's voice crackled through the secure communication system from Forward Operating Base Sentinel, his transmission carrying the professional strain of someone coordinating multiple emergency situations simultaneously. Control, this is Neptune Base. We have 3 separate teams in contact with overwhelming enemy forces. Enemy positions are too close to our personnel for conventional air support, and terrain prevents helicopter extraction. General Stone studied the tactical displays with command experience that had taught her to recognize when individual crises represented broader strategic challenges. Colonel Burns, what's the total number of American personnel currently trapped in these coordinated attacks? Burns consulted his tactical summary with the kind of systematic precision that characterized Special Operations leadership under extreme pressure. Ma'am, initial count indicates 287 Navy SEALs and supporting elements across multiple operational areas. They're facing estimated enemy forces totaling over 800 fighters positioned in coordinated defensive networks. The numbers hit the briefing room like artillery impact. 287 American Special Operations personnel, nearly the equivalent of an entire battalion, trapped simultaneously in terrain where conventional rescue operations would likely result in catastrophic casualties for both trapped personnel and rescue forces. Colonel Palmer examined the tactical projections with growing recognition that the day's earlier success represented preparation for challenges that exceeded anything military aviation had previously attempted. General, if enemy forces have positioned themselves to prevent conventional air support while maintaining combat effectiveness against our trapped personnel, we're facing tactical situations that our current doctrine isn't designed to address. Natalie sat in the observer section, officially present to provide technical clarification about close air support capabilities, but actually witnessing the unfolding of scenarios her intelligence analysis had predicted with uncomfortable accuracy. The enemy wasn't simply attacking American forces. They were systematically implementing strategies designed to exploit American rescue doctrine's limitations. Major Vanessa Reed approached the tactical display with flight operations expertise that provided aviation perspective on the crisis developing. General, standard close air support protocols require minimum engagement distances that exceed the tactical reality of these situations. Enemy forces have positioned themselves closer to our trapped personnel than our aircraft can safely engage. Major, what aircraft capabilities would be required to provide effective support in these tactical situations? Stone asked, though her expression suggested she anticipated challenging requirements that exceeded conventional operational parameters. Ma'am, the mission would require precision close air support at danger close ranges using pilots specifically trained for surgical engagement techniques. The A-10's GAU-8 cannon provides the accuracy necessary for such operations, but executing successful missions would demand skills that go beyond standard training protocols. Chief Warrant Officer Clay Webb joined the discussion with helicopter operations experience that had taught him the limitations of conventional extraction methods in hostile terrain. General, I can't extract personnel from any of these locations using standard helicopter operations. Enemy surface-to-air capabilities and terrain features make traditional approaches impossible without unacceptable aircraft losses. The tactical situation was crystallizing into a perfect storm of enemy strategy and American doctrine limitations. Conventional wisdom suggested that 287 trapped personnel represented too many people to risk on experimental rescue techniques, but conventional approaches offered no viable solutions for extraction from prepared kill zones. Captain Braden Holland stepped forward with F-16 flight experience that provided fixed-wing perspective on precision engagement limitations. General, my aircraft can provide precision strikes against enemy positions that maintain safe separation from friendly forces, but the majority of threats are positioned closer to our people than guided munitions can safely engage. Stone turned toward Natalie with the kind of command focus that suggested critical decisions would be influenced by technical expertise regardless of its source. Captain Douglas, your precision targeting capabilities enabled today's successful extraction. Could similar techniques be applied to the tactical situations we're currently facing? The question carried implications that extended far beyond individual mission authorization. Stone was essentially asking whether unconventional approaches could succeed on a scale that would challenge everything military aviation considered practical or safe. Ma'am, the tactical principles are similar, But the scale presents challenges that exceed single aircraft capabilities, Natalie replied, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what was being discussed. Successfully extracting 287 personnel from coordinated enemy positions would require precision engagement techniques applied across multiple target areas simultaneously. Lieutenant Sierra Ford approached with additional intelligence reports that provided broader context for the tactical crisis developing. General, intercepted communications suggest enemy forces are implementing these coordinated attacks as preparation for larger operations designed to eliminate American special operations capabilities throughout the region. The strategic implications were becoming clear. Enemy forces weren't simply conducting isolated attacks, they were systematically targeting American elite capabilities, using tactics specifically designed to exploit rescue doctrine limitations. Success in these coordinated attacks would eliminate significant American tactical advantages while demonstrating that conventional military responses were inadequate. Colonel Burns studied the communication intercepts with special operations experience that recognized tactical innovation when he observed it. General, if enemy forces succeed in eliminating 287 special operations personnel using these tactics, they'll have demonstrated that American elite capabilities can be neutralized through strategic positioning and coordinated attacks. Stone's expression hardened as she processed the broader implications of what they were facing. Colonel, you're indicating that these attacks represent enemy assessment of American capabilities and development of systematic countermeasures. Yes, ma'am. Enemy forces have studied our strengths and developed specific tactics designed to turn those strengths into vulnerabilities. They're not trying to defeat us through superior firepower. They're attempting to defeat us through superior tactical innovation. Senior Airman Grant Boyd approached the briefing table with communication equipment and updates from multiple operational areas that painted an increasingly desperate picture. Ma'am, all trapped units report declining ammunition supplies and increasing enemy pressure. Estimated time before positions are overrun ranges from 40 minutes to 2 hours depending on location. The timeline had collapsed from strategic planning to immediate crisis management. 287 American warriors had less than 2 hours before their positions would be overwhelmed by enemy forces, while command debated whether unconventional rescue approaches were authorized or practical. Staff Sergeant Keith Mills entered the briefing room with aircraft status reports and technical specifications that suggested he had been preparing for exactly this possibility. General, we have 4 A-10 aircraft configured for precision close air support operations with maximum ammunition loads and optimal fuel distribution for extended engagement operations. Stone looked at Mills with the sharp attention of someone who recognized that preparation implied advanced planning for scenarios that military leadership hadn't yet authorized. Sergeant, you've prepared multiple aircraft for precision operations without specific authorization? Ma'am, Captain Douglas's successful mission this afternoon demonstrated that precision capabilities could be crucial for tactical situations that conventional approaches couldn't address. I ensured we had maximum aircraft readiness for similar operations that might be required. The technical preparation was impressive, but the tactical challenge remained unprecedented. 4 aircraft attempting to provide precision close air support for 287 trapped personnel across 7 different locations would require coordination, timing, and accuracy that exceeded anything attempted in military aviation history. Master Sergeant Lane approached with final intelligence updates that provided the clearest picture yet of what American forces were facing. General, enemy communications indicate they consider these operations a test of American response capabilities. Success will validate their tactical innovations and encourage broader implementation of similar strategies. The briefing room fell silent as the full scope of the tactical and strategic challenges became clear. Enemy forces had created situations where 287 American elite personnel would be eliminated unless rescue operations succeeded at precision levels that challenged established doctrine. Failure would validate enemy tactical innovations while eliminating significant American special operations capabilities. But success would require authorization for combat operations that exceeded standard safety protocols, utilizing precision techniques that had been proven effective on small scales but never attempted at the magnitude required for coordinating rescue of nearly 300 personnel simultaneously. General Stone looked around the briefing room at officers whose expertise had prepared them for conventional military challenges, but not for tactical innovations that required rethinking fundamental assumptions about air support capabilities and acceptable risk levels. Colonel Palmer, what's your assessment of our precision close air support capabilities for operations of this magnitude and complexity? Palmer studied the tactical displays showing 7 separate crisis areas requiring simultaneous precision engagement at danger-close ranges. General, the tactical requirements exceed anything we've previously attempted. Success would require pilot capabilities and coordination techniques that go beyond established training protocols. But before Stone could respond to Palmer's assessment, Boyd's communication equipment crackled with transmission that eliminated time for extended tactical analysis. The voice that emerged carried the kind of desperate professionalism that indicated American warriors were facing elimination, while Command debated authorization procedures. Control, this is Trident Actual from Helmand Valley Operations. We have 287 personnel surrounded by overwhelming enemy forces in prepared positions. Enemy capabilities prevent conventional extraction, and our ammunition situation is critical. Request any available support immediately, or we face complete unit loss within 90 minutes. 90 minutes. That was how long 287 American Special Operations personnel had before their coordinated positions would be overrun by enemy forces implementing the most sophisticated tactical challenge American military aviation had ever faced. The crisis that Natalie's intelligence work had predicted was reaching its climax, and her precision capabilities represented the only potentially viable response to tactical situations that conventional doctrine couldn't address. The briefing room buzzed with urgent discussion as senior officers who had spent careers following established procedures now faced decisions about whether unconventional approaches could succeed when traditional methods offered no viable solutions for saving American lives. General Linda Stone stood in the secure conference room for 30 seconds of absolute silence, weighing a command decision that would either save 287 American lives or potentially destroy them along with the pilots attempting their rescue. The tactical displays showed 7 separate kill zones where enemy forces had positioned themselves with surgical precision to exploit every limitation of conventional military doctrine. Colonel Palmer, I need your honest assessment, Stone said, her voice carrying the weight of command responsibility that had defined her career. Can Captain Douglas's precision techniques be scaled up to coordinate rescue operations across 7 simultaneous target areas? Palmer studied the tactical requirements with 20 years of aviation experience that had taught him to distinguish between theoretical possibilities and practical realities. General, the coordination demands would exceed anything attempted in modern military aviation. 4 aircraft conducting simultaneous precision strikes at danger-close ranges across multiple target areas would require timing and accuracy that challenges the limits of both human capability and aircraft performance. Lieutenant Commander Tucker's voice crackled through the secure communications again, his transmission carrying the controlled desperation of someone watching American warriors face annihilation. Control, this is Trident Actual. Enemy forces are advancing on all positions. We have 40 minutes of ammunition remaining and no viable extraction options. Whatever support you can provide, we need it immediately. 40 minutes. The timeline had compressed even further while Command debated authorization procedures. 287 Special Operations personnel now had less time than a typical mission briefing before their positions would be overrun by coordinated enemy assault. Stone turned toward Natalie with the kind of direct focus that characterized commanders making decisions that would define their legacy. Captain Douglas, can you coordinate precision close air support operations across 7 target areas simultaneously while maintaining the accuracy levels you demonstrated earlier today? The question carried implications that extended far beyond individual mission authorization. Stone was asking whether one pilot could orchestrate the most complex close air support operation in military aviation history, while maintaining precision standards that would prevent American casualties during the rescue attempt. Ma'am, the tactical principles remain consistent, but successful coordination would require real-time communication with all trapped units, while maintaining precision targeting across multiple engagement areas. Natalie replied, her voice steady despite understanding the magnitude of what was being proposed. I can coordinate the operation if provided with aircraft configured for maximum effectiveness and pilots willing to follow precision engagement protocols. Colonel Burns stepped forward with special operations experience that had taught him to evaluate tactical innovations based on their potential for saving American lives rather than their conformity to established procedures. General, Captain Douglas has demonstrated precision capabilities that exceed conventional close air support parameters. If she can coordinate similar precision across multiple target areas, we have a viable approach to tactical situations that conventional doctrine cannot address. Stone looked around the briefing room at senior officers whose careers had been built on following established procedures that were proving inadequate for the tactical challenge they now faced. Conventional military wisdom suggested that untested coordination techniques shouldn't be attempted when nearly 300 American lives hung in the balance, but conventional approaches offered no solutions for extraction from prepared kill zones. Captain Douglas, you are authorized to coordinate precision close air support for the extraction of all trapped American personnel, Stone announced with command authority that ended debate and initiated unprecedented military operations. All available A-10 aircraft are assigned to your tactical control. Major Reed will serve as your flight operations coordinator. The authorization was historic, a captain receiving tactical command authority over multiple aircraft for close air support operations that exceeded established safety protocols. But as Tucker's radio continued transmitting increasingly desperate updates from trapped personnel, institutional hierarchy became less important than immediate survival necessities. Staff Sergeant Mills stepped forward with technical reports indicating that preparation had been occurring parallel to command deliberations. Captain, we have 4 A-10 aircraft configured for extended precision operations, with maximum ammunition loads and fuel distribution optimized for multiple engagement cycles. Major Reed approached with flight coordination materials and tactical communication equipment that would enable real-time coordination across 7 separate battlefield areas. Natalie will establish tactical command in the Flight Operations Center with direct communication links to all trapped units. You'll have complete situational awareness across all target areas simultaneously. The Flight Operations Center had been transformed into a coordination hub that resembled mission control for space operations more than traditional military aviation support. Multiple digital displays showed real-time tactical situations across 7 locations, while communication systems provided direct contact with every trapped American unit. Master Sergeant Lane positioned herself at the Intelligence Coordination Station with updated enemy position data and tactical assessments that would support precision targeting decisions. Captain, we have confirmed enemy positions at all 7 locations with thermal imaging and communication intercepts providing detailed threat assessment for each area. Lieutenant Sierra Ford established herself at the Tactical Analysis Station with computer systems capable of calculating optimal attack sequences that would maximize rescue effectiveness while minimizing risk to trapped personnel. Ma'am, we've computed engagement priorities based on threat levels and ammunition constraints for trapped units. The coordination infrastructure represented the most sophisticated close air support command structure ever established, designed specifically to enable precision operations at scales that military aviation had never attempted. Every system focused on providing Natalie with information and coordination capabilities necessary for orchestrating simultaneous rescue operations across impossible tactical terrain. Chief Warrant Officer Webb positioned his helicopter crews at forward staging areas where they could respond immediately once precision strikes created extraction corridors at each trapped unit location. Captain, extraction assets are positioned for immediate response once target areas are cleared for helicopter operations. Colonel Palmer remained in the operations center as senior oversight, his expression carrying acknowledgement that unprecedented tactical requirements demanded unprecedented operational approaches. Captain Douglas, you have complete tactical authority over this operation. All aircraft will follow your coordination instructions regardless of conventional protocol limitations. Aircraft 401, 402, 403, and 404 sat on the flight line with the predatory stillness of machines designed for violence but configured for surgical precision. Each A-10 carried maximum ammunition loads for the GAU-8 cannon, plus Maverick missiles and rocket pods that provided multiple engagement options for different tactical situations. The pre-flight briefing occurred in the aircraft configuration area, where 4 experienced A-10 pilots received coordination instructions that challenged everything they understood about close air support operations. Captain Melody Cross, who had previously advocated for gradual career advancement through conventional channels, now found herself preparing for combat operations that exceeded established doctrine by significant margins. The coordination sequence will require simultaneous precision strikes across 7 target areas, with timing coordinated to create extraction opportunities without endangering any American personnel, Natalie explained to the assembled pilots. Each aircraft will be assigned specific target priorities based on real-time tactical assessment and ammunition status of trapped units. Captain Holland, whose F-16 experience had proven inadequate for danger close engagement requirements, listened with professional attention to coordination techniques that pushed aircraft and pilot capabilities beyond standard training parameters. Captain, the precision requirements exceed anything covered in conventional close air support training. How do we maintain accuracy while coordinating across multiple target areas? The key is understanding that precision comes from knowledge rather than equipment, Natalie replied, her voice carrying the confidence of someone whose unauthorized preparation was finally being validated by institutional necessity. Each of you has studied the tactical terrain and enemy positioning for weeks. Trust your preparation and maintain communication throughout the engagement sequence. The pilots reviewed tactical maps showing enemy positions relative to trapped American personnel with distances measured in meters rather than the hundreds of yards that characterized normal close air support operations. Success would require accuracy that exceeded aircraft specifications while maintaining coordination across multiple simultaneous engagements. Staff Sergeant Mills conducted final technical checks on all 4 aircraft, while coordination systems established direct communication links between flight operations and every trapped American unit. The technological infrastructure was unprecedented, but the tactical execution would depend on pilot skills and precision techniques that existed beyond established doctrine. Lieutenant Commander Tucker's voice provided final tactical updates as the rescue coordination reached operational readiness. Control, all units confirm enemy positions are advancing. Maximum time remaining before positions are overrun is 35 minutes. Request immediate commencement of air support operations. 35 minutes had become the operational window for executing the most complex close air support mission in military aviation history. 4 A-10 aircraft would coordinate simultaneous precision strikes across 7 target areas, while maintaining accuracy standards that prevented American casualties during rescue operations that challenged every assumption about tactical possibilities. General Stone's voice came through the tactical command frequency with authorization that ended preparation and initiated combat operations. Hurricane Flight, you are cleared for precision close air support operations. All trapped American units are depending on your coordination and accuracy. Good hunting. The 4 A-10s lifted off from Bagram Air Base at 1,523 hours in formation that would disperse into individual attack profiles once they reached the operational area. Behind them, they left a command structure that had authorized tactical operations exceeding established doctrine because conventional approaches offered no viable solutions for saving 287 American lives. Flight operations buzzed with coordination activity as real-time tactical data flowed between aircraft, trapped units, and command centers. Digital displays showed 4 aircraft approaching 7 different tactical situations where American warriors waited for precision strikes that would create escape routes from kill zones specifically designed to prevent conventional rescue. Natalie's voice came through the tactical frequency with coordination instructions that would determine whether unprecedented tactical innovation could succeed when established military doctrine had proven inadequate. Hurricane Flight, approaching initial target areas, maintain formation until target assignment and coordinate precision strikes according to real-time tactical priorities. The mountainous terrain of eastern Afghanistan spread below the 4 aircraft like a geographic chessboard, where enemy forces had positioned themselves with strategic precision to trap American elite personnel beyond the reach of traditional rescue capabilities. Each valley contained American warriors whose survival now depended on coordination techniques that had never been attempted at this scale. Hurricane 2, you have primary responsibility for northern target areas. Hurricane 3, coordinate southern sector precision strikes. Hurricane 4, maintain overwatch and provide support for highest priority tactical situations. Natalie transmitted as the formation approached engagement range. The coordination was beginning for close air support operations that would either validate tactical innovation or demonstrate the limitations of precision techniques when applied beyond their proven parameters. 287 American lives hung in the balance while 4 pilots prepared to attempt simultaneous rescue operations across terrain specifically chosen to make such operations impossible. The formation of 4 A-10 Thunderbolts approached the Helmand Valley at 1,534 hours with the tactical precision of a surgical instrument designed for violence on an unprecedented scale. Natalie's aircraft led the formation while her tactical display showed 7 separate battlefield situations where 287 American warriors waited for coordination that would either create escape routes or result in the most catastrophic close air support failure in military aviation history. Hurricane Flight, this is Hurricane Lead. Natalie transmitted as the mountainous terrain revealed tactical nightmares that exceeded even her most pessimistic intelligence projections. Target areas are visual. Enemy positions are more extensive than anticipated, with overlapping defensive networks that require modification of original attack sequences. The enemy had not simply positioned themselves to prevent conventional rescue operations. They had created interlocking kill zones where American forces were trapped in carefully engineered tactical situations that maximized defensive advantages while minimizing American response options. Each valley contained multiple layers of enemy positions designed to destroy rescue attempts through coordinated crossfire. Major Reed's voice crackled through the tactical command frequency from the operations center at Bagram, her tone carrying the controlled tension of someone coordinating the most complex close air support mission ever attempted. Hurricane Lead, we have real-time updates from all 7 positions. Enemy forces are advancing simultaneously across all locations. Recommend immediate commencement of precision strikes. Hurricane 2, report tactical assessment of northern sector target areas. Natalie commanded as she studied thermal imaging that revealed enemy positions positioned with mathematical precision to create inescapable tactical situations. Mantles. Captain Cross's response carried professional amazement at witnessing tactical coordination that exceeded anything covered in military doctrine. Hurricane Lead and northern targets show enemy positions within 30 to 45 meters of trapped personnel across 3 separate locations. They've created overlapping fields of fire that prevent tactical movement while maintaining proximity that challenges precision engagement parameters. The tactical situation was even more sophisticated than intelligence reports had indicated. Enemy forces hadn't simply trapped American personnel. They had created tactical puzzles, where rescue attempts would trigger coordinated responses designed to eliminate both trapped personnel and rescuing aircraft through systematically planned defensive networks. Lieutenant Commander Tucker's voice transmitted from the primary target area with updates that confirmed the urgency of coordination requirements. Hurricane Lead, this is Trident Actual. Enemy forces are within final assault distance of multiple positions. We have maybe 20 minutes before coordinated overrun begins. Request immediate precision strikes to create extraction corridors. 20 minutes had become the operational window for executing simultaneous precision strikes across 7 target areas, while coordinating extraction operations that would challenge every assumption about tactical possibilities. The mathematics were brutal. 4 aircraft attempting to save 287 lives in terrain specifically designed to make such operations impossible. Hurricane 3, report Southern Sector Tactical Assessment. Natalie commanded while her targeting systems analyzed enemy positions that challenged established doctrine about minimum engagement distances. Captain Holland's transmission carried the professional concern of someone witnessing tactical requirements that exceeded training parameters. Hurricane Lead. Southern Sector shows enemy positions establishing final assault formations. They're using terrain features to approach trapped personnel while maintaining positions that prevent effective air support without extreme precision accuracy. The enemy's tactical sophistication was becoming clear through direct observation rather than intelligence analysis. They had studied American close air support capabilities and developed countermeasures that exploited every limitation of conventional aircraft engagement parameters while maximizing American casualties during rescue attempts. Hurricane 4. Establish Overwatch position and report priority threat assessment across all target areas. Natalie transmitted while calculating coordination sequences that would provide maximum rescue effectiveness within the compressed timeline. Captain Melody Cross positioned her aircraft at optimal altitude for tactical oversight, while her systems analyzed threat priorities across 7 simultaneous battlefield situations. Hurricane Lead. Threat analysis shows coordinated enemy assault preparation across all locations. They're implementing synchronized attacks designed to overwhelm trapped positions simultaneously. The coordination challenge was crystallizing into tactical requirements that exceeded human capability limitations. Natalie needed to orchestrate precision strikes across 7 locations, while maintaining accuracy that prevented American casualties, timing that created extraction opportunities, and coordination that maximized effectiveness of limited ammunition supplies. Master Sergeant Lane's voice transmitted from the Intelligence Coordination Center with updates that provided broader context for the tactical situation developing. Hurricane Lead. Intercepted communications confirm enemy forces are implementing predetermined assault sequences. Success in these coordinated attacks represents validation of tactical innovations they intend to implement throughout the region. The strategic implications added urgency to tactical requirements that already challenged established doctrine. Enemy forces were using 287 trapped Americans to test tactical innovations that could fundamentally alter the balance of military effectiveness throughout Afghanistan if successful. All Hurricane aircraft prepare for coordinated precision strikes according to tactical priority sequences, Natalie commanded as she lined up her first targeting solution on enemy positions that were closer to trapped Americans than anyone had ever attempted to engage with the A-10's cannon systems. Her initial target was a heavy weapons position on the eastern ridge that had been suppressing American movement across multiple trapped locations simultaneously. The enemy had positioned the weapons system to provide overlapping fire support while remaining close enough to American personnel to prevent conventional air engagement. Banking into a controlled dive that brought her aircraft into optimal firing position, Natalie activated her GAU-8 cannon with precision that had been developed through months of unauthorized simulation training. The 30mm rounds impacted exactly where intended, eliminating the heavy weapons threat without endangering nearby American personnel. Hurricane lead, confirmed hit on priority target, came Tucker's voice with the first note of hope in hours of desperate communication. Eastern suppression eliminated. We have tactical mobility restored for extraction movement. But before Natalie could acknowledge the success, her tactical display illuminated with surface-to-air missile launches from concealed positions that enemy forces had established specifically to destroy aircraft attempting close air support at danger-close ranges. Hurricane flight, multiple SAM launches from concealed positions, she transmitted while implementing evasive maneuvers that tested the A-10's legendary survivability. Enemy forces prepared comprehensive air defense networks to counter rescue attempts. The missiles streaked through the mountain air with deadly accuracy, but the A-10's titanium armor and redundant systems allowed continued operation despite hits that would have destroyed less survivable aircraft. Natalie maintained target acquisition through defensive fire while coordinating similar precision strikes across 6 remaining target areas. Hurricane 2 commenced northern sector precision strikes while maintaining communication coordination with trapped personnel. She commanded while her aircraft absorbed additional missile impacts that demonstrated enemy preparation for exactly this type of rescue operation. Captain Cross's aircraft dove toward northern target areas where enemy forces had advanced to within meters of trapped American positions. Her precision strikes required accuracy that exceeded aircraft specifications while maintaining coordination that prevented fraternal casualties during complex engagement sequences. Hurricane led, northern targets engaged with confirmed hits. Cross reported while her aircraft maneuvered through defensive fire that had been specifically planned to challenge close air support operations. Enemy positions eliminated without friendly casualties. Extraction corridors created for northern sector personnel. The coordination was succeeding beyond theoretical projections, but ammunition consumption rates indicated that sustained precision strikes across 7 target areas would challenge aircraft capabilities before all trapped personnel could be extracted from prepared kill zones. Hurricane 3 commenced southern sector precision engagement while maintaining tactical communication with all trapped units. Natalie transmitted while calculating ammunition requirements against tactical necessities that pushed aircraft performance beyond designed parameters. Captain Holland's aircraft engaged southern target areas with precision that demonstrated the effectiveness of advanced training techniques when applied under combat conditions that challenged established doctrine. His targeting solutions created escape routes for trapped personnel while eliminating enemy positions that had been considered impossible to engage safely. Hurricane-led, southern sector targets neutralized with confirmed tactical success. Holland reported while his aircraft sustained defensive fire that validated enemy preparation for close air support countermeasures. Trapped personnel report, tactical mobility restored, and extraction movement commenced. Chief Warrant Officer Webb's voice transmitted from forward staging areas where extraction helicopters waited for precision strikes to create landing zones that were currently too dangerous for helicopter operations. Hurricane led. Extraction assets positioned for immediate response once remaining target areas are cleared for helicopter approach. The tactical sequence was progressing according to coordination plans, but time constraints and ammunition limitations required acceleration of precision strikes across remaining target areas before enemy forces could adapt their tactics to counter American rescue operations. Hurricane 4 established tactical overwatch and provide precision support for highest priority remaining threats. Natalie commanded while her ammunition indicators showed consumption rates that challenged mission completion within available resources. Huel. Captain Cross positioned her aircraft for optimal tactical support while maintaining communication links that enabled real-time coordination across multiple battlefield situations simultaneously. Her overwatch position provided situational awareness that enhanced precision effectiveness for remaining target engagements. Lieutenant Commander Tucker's transmission provided tactical updates that confirmed extraction progress, while identifying remaining challenges that required continued precision support. Hurricane Lead. We have successful extraction movement in progress across 4 locations. 3 remaining positions require precision strikes before helicopter extraction becomes viable. 3 remaining target areas represented the final tactical challenges for coordination techniques that had succeeded beyond theoretical projections, but now faced ammunition and time constraints that would determine whether unprecedented close air support innovation could achieve complete mission success. The mountainous terrain below contained enemy positions that had been prepared with tactical sophistication designed to defeat American rescue capabilities, but precision techniques and coordination innovations were systematically eliminating prepared defensive networks that conventional doctrine couldn't address. All Hurricane aircraft prepare for final coordination sequence targeting remaining enemy positions. Natalie transmitted while her tactical systems calculated optimal engagement priorities that would maximize rescue effectiveness within remaining operational parameters. 287 American lives depended on coordination techniques that pushed aircraft and pilot capabilities beyond established limitations while maintaining precision that prevented friendly casualties during rescue operations that were redefining tactical possibilities for close air support in mountainous terrain against sophisticated enemy defensive networks. The final coordination sequence commenced at 1,547 hours with 3 remaining target areas requiring precision strikes that would determine whether 287 American lives could be extracted from kill zones specifically designed to defeat conventional rescue operations. Natalie's ammunition indicators showed critical levels that would challenge mission completion, but 73 trapped personnel still awaited precision fire support that would create their only viable escape routes. Hurricane Lee, this is Trident 7, came the transmission from the most heavily contested position in the Southern Valley where 31 SEALs faced overwhelming enemy forces advancing from elevated positions. We're down to final magazines and enemy assault forces are within grenade range. Request immediate precision strikes or we're gone. The tactical mathematics were brutal. 3 remaining enemy strongpoints contained approximately 150 fighters positioned to provide interlocking fields of fire while maintaining proximity to trapped Americans that prevented conventional engagement. Each position required precision strikes at ranges that challenged aircraft specifications, while coordinating timing that would prevent enemy forces from adapting their tactics. Hurricane 2 report ammunition status and tactical capability for Northern Sector final targets. Natalie commanded while calculating optimal engagement sequences that would maximize effectiveness of remaining ordnance across multiple critical targets. Captain Cross's response carried the professional strain of someone pushing aircraft performance beyond design parameters while maintaining precision accuracy under combat conditions that exceeded training scenarios. Hurricane Lead, ammunition at 30% capacity, sufficient for precision engagement of 2 priority targets with optimal accuracy. The ammunition constraints were forcing tactical decisions that balanced immediate threat elimination against sustained support capabilities. Each precision strike needed to achieve maximum tactical effect while conserving ordnance for continuing support requirements that couldn't be predicted until battle damage assessment revealed enemy response patterns. Chief Warrant Officer Webb's voice transmitted from forward extraction positions where helicopter crews waited to commence rescue operations once precision strikes cleared landing zones currently dominated by enemy defensive fire. Hurricane-led extraction assets report 3 locations cleared for immediate helicopter operations. Remaining positions require precision support before rescue aircraft can approach safely. The extraction progress was encouraging, but 73 American warriors remained trapped in tactical situations that required continued close air support at accuracy levels that were consuming ammunition faster than conventional doctrine recommended for sustained operations. Hurricane 3 commenced precision engagement of Central Valley enemy positions while maintaining coordination with trapped personnel. Natalie transmitted while her targeting systems locked onto enemy locations that were positioned within 35 meters of trapped American forces. Captain Holland's aircraft dove toward the central target area where 24 SEALs occupied defensive positions that provided minimal cover against coordinated enemy assault from 3 directions simultaneously. His precision strikes needed to eliminate multiple threats without endangering trapped personnel who were positioned dangerously close to intended impact areas. Hurricane-led Central Valley targets engaged with confirmed elimination of primary threats. Holland reported while his aircraft absorbed defensive fire from remaining enemy positions that had been positioned specifically to challenge close air support operations. Trapped personnel report tactical mobility restored and movement toward extraction point commenced. The tactical success was encouraging, but ammunition consumption indicated that remaining precision strikes would challenge aircraft capabilities before all trapped personnel could be extracted from prepared enemy positions that continued adapting their defensive tactics. Master Sergeant Lane's voice crackled through the tactical frequency from the Intelligence Coordination Center, with real-time assessment that provided broader context for battlefield developments. Hurricane-led, intercepted communications indicate enemy forces are implementing contingency plans designed to prevent American extraction success. They're repositioning reserves to counter rescue operations. The enemy adaptation was anticipated but concerning. Intelligence analysis had predicted that enemy forces would attempt to counter American tactical innovations, but the speed and sophistication of their response indicated preparation that exceeded typical insurgent capabilities. Hurricane 4 established tactical overwatch of Southern Valley final target area and report enemy positioning relative to trapped personnel. Natalie commanded, while her ammunition indicators approached levels that would require precise conservation to maintain support capabilities. Captain Cross positioned her aircraft for optimal observation while her thermal imaging systems revealed enemy positions that were advancing toward the final group of trapped Americans, with tactical coordination that suggested professional military training rather than insurgent activities. Hurricane lead, Southern Valley shows 18 trapped personnel facing approximately 40 enemy fighters advancing in coordinated assault formation. Cross reported with professional concern about tactical odds that challenged successful extraction without immediate precision support. Enemy positions are within final assault distance and using terrain features to approach while minimizing exposure to air attack. The final tactical challenge represented the most difficult precision engagement of the entire operation. Enemy forces had learned from observing American precision techniques and were adapting their approach patterns to complicate accurate targeting while maintaining assault pressure on trapped personnel. Lieutenant Commander Tucker's voice transmitted updates from successfully extracted personnel while providing tactical assessment of remaining challenges that required continued precision support. Hurricane-led, we have 214 personnel successfully extracted from cleared target areas. Remaining 73 personnel require precision strikes within the next 8 minutes before enemy assault overwhelms their positions. 8 minutes had become the final operational window for precision strikes that would complete the most complex close air support mission in military aviation history. The tactical requirements demanded accuracy that exceeded established doctrine, while maintaining coordination across 3 final target areas simultaneously. All Hurricane aircraft prepare for final precision coordination sequence. Natalie transmitted while calculating targeting solutions that would maximize tactical effectiveness within ammunition and time constraints that challenged optimal engagement parameters. Her first target was a concealed enemy position that had been established specifically to ambush extraction helicopters attempting to rescue the Southern Valley personnel. The position was camouflaged among terrain features, but its thermal signature revealed enemy fighters preparing to engage rescue aircraft with shoulder-fired missiles. Banking into her final attack run, Natalie activated her GAU-8 cannon with precision that represented the culmination of months of unauthorized training, finally validated under combat conditions that challenged theoretical preparation. Her targeting solution eliminated the concealed position while creating tactical opportunities for helicopter extraction. Hurricane-led confirmed elimination of anti-aircraft threat, came the grateful transmission from the Southern Valley team leader. Tactical situation improved for extraction operations. Helicopter approach is now viable. Chief Webb's voice followed immediately with extraction coordination that demonstrated the effectiveness of combined arms operations when precision air support created tactical opportunities for rescue helicopter deployment. Hurricane-led extraction helicopter approaching Southern Valley landing zone. Precision strikes have cleared hostile fire from approach routes. The coordination between precision air support and helicopter extraction represented tactical innovation that exceeded established doctrine while achieving mission effectiveness that conventional approaches couldn't match. American tactical capabilities were being redefined through battlefield necessity rather than theoretical planning. Hurricane 2 and 3 coordinate final precision strikes on remaining northern and central target areas. Natalie commanded while her ammunition indicators showed critical levels that would challenge sustained support beyond current engagement requirements. The final 2 aircraft executed precision strikes with coordination that demonstrated tactical proficiency developed through intensive preparation applied under combat conditions that challenged established limitations. Their targeting accuracy eliminated remaining enemy positions while creating extraction corridors for the last trapped American personnel. Captain Holland's transmission confirmed tactical success that exceeded operational projections for complex close air support missions attempted under extreme conditions. Hurricane-led, all target areas cleared with confirmed elimination of primary threats. No American casualties reported during precision engagement operations. Staff Sergeant Mills, voice transmitted from Bagram operations with technical assessment that validated aircraft performance under combat conditions that had pushed mechanical systems beyond design parameters. Hurricane flight. All aircraft report successful mission completion with ammunition expended according to tactical requirements. No mechanical failures despite extended combat operations. The technical success was as significant as the tactical achievement. 4 aircraft had coordinated precision strikes across 7 target areas while maintaining accuracy that prevented American casualties and mechanical reliability that enabled sustained combat operations under extreme conditions. General Stone's voice came through the tactical command frequency with authorization that formally recognized unprecedented tactical success achieved through innovation that exceeded established doctrine. Hurricane flight, mission accomplished. All 287 trapped personnel successfully extracted with 0 American casualties. Outstanding coordination and precision under impossible tactical conditions. The mission statistics were historic. 287 American Special Operations personnel extracted from 7 prepared kill zones using coordination techniques that had never been attempted at this scale, precision accuracy that exceeded aircraft specifications, and tactical innovation that redefined close air support capabilities in mountainous terrain against sophisticated enemy defensive networks. Lieutenant Commander Tucker's final transmission provided battlefield perspective on tactical achievements that had saved American lives through approaches that conventional doctrine couldn't address. Hurricane-led from all extracted personnel. Your precision fire support and tactical coordination saved 287 American lives today. This was made possible through exceptional skill and courage. Master Sergeant Lane's intelligence assessment confirmed broader strategic implications of tactical success that had defeated enemy innovations designed to eliminate American special operations capabilities. Hurricane-led enemy communications indicate complete tactical failure of coordinated strategies. Their tactical innovations have been countered through American precision capabilities and coordination techniques. The strategic victory was as significant as the tactical achievement. Enemy forces had implemented sophisticated strategies designed to trap and eliminate American elite personnel using tactics that exploited conventional doctrine limitations, but precision techniques and coordination innovations had defeated prepared defensive networks through superior tactical execution. The 4A-10 aircraft turned toward Bagram Air Base with mission completion that represented validation of tactical preparation undertaken without institutional authorization, but proven effective under combat conditions that challenged established military capabilities. Months of unauthorized training had culminated in battlefield success that saved American lives while redefining tactical possibilities. As the formation approached base operations, radio communications buzzed with congratulatory messages from units throughout the theater who had monitored the unprecedented close air support mission through tactical frequencies. The coordination had succeeded beyond theoretical projections while establishing new standards for precision air support in complex tactical environments. The mountains of eastern Afghanistan receded behind aircraft that had demonstrated tactical capabilities exceeding established doctrine through coordination techniques that prioritized results over institutional procedures. 287 American warriors were alive because tactical innovation had succeeded, where conventional approaches offered no viable solutions for rescue from sophisticated enemy defensive networks. Flight operations at Bagram prepared for aircraft recovery that would conclude the most complex close air support mission in military aviation history. Achieved through precision techniques and coordination innovations that had transformed theoretical preparation into battlefield effectiveness that exceeded all operational projections for tactical success under impossible conditions. The 4 A-10 Thunderbolts touched down at Bagram Air Base at 1,612 hours to a scene that resembled a victory celebration more than a routine mission return. Hundreds of military personnel lined the taxiways, their applause beginning before the aircraft engines had fully spooled down. Word of the unprecedented rescue operation had spread throughout the base faster than official communication channels, creating an atmosphere of professional amazement at witnessing tactical innovation that redefined military aviation possibilities. Natalie emerged from Aircraft 401's cockpit to find herself facing a crowd that included not only her squadron personnel but representatives from every unit on base. The medical teams treating wounded from routine operations had paused their work to acknowledge pilots who had achieved mission success that exceeded theoretical projections for close air support effectiveness. Colonel Palmer approached with an expression that carried institutional complexity rather than simple congratulation. His 20 years of military experience had taught him to recognize when battlefield success created as many challenges as it resolved, particularly when that success involved unauthorized tactical innovations that exceeded established doctrine. Captain Douglas, what you accomplished today challenges everything military aviation considers possible, Palmer said, his voice carrying acknowledgement mixed with concern about broader implications. You coordinated precision strikes at ranges that exceed safety protocols while maintaining accuracy that prevented friendly casualties during the most complex close air support mission in recorded history. The compliment was genuine, but Palmer's tone suggested that exceptional battlefield performance created institutional challenges that extended beyond individual recognition. Military hierarchies were designed to reward performance within established parameters, not tactical innovations that challenged fundamental assumptions about operational capabilities. General Stone approached their conversation with command presence that focused attention on broader implications rather than individual achievements. Behind her walked a delegation that included officers Natalie didn't recognize, their uniforms indicating Pentagon assignments that suggested this mission's significance extended beyond theater operations. Captain Douglas, your tactical coordination saved 287 American lives using techniques that our current doctrine doesn't address, Stone said with the kind of direct communication that characterized senior officers delivering important messages. That achievement raises questions about our training protocols, operational standards, and institutional approach to tactical innovation. Lieutenant Colonel Harrison, one of the Pentagon representatives, stepped forward with the measured demeanor of someone whose evaluation would influence policy decisions affecting military aviation throughout all services. Captain, we need to understand how you developed capabilities that exceed established training parameters, and whether those techniques can be systematically implemented across similar aircraft platforms. The questioning represented institutional recognition that individual tactical success had broader implications for military effectiveness. Natalie's unauthorized preparation and battlefield innovation weren't being evaluated solely as personal achievements, but as potential models for enhancing American close air support capabilities. Major Reed joined the discussion with flight operations perspective that provided technical context for evaluating tactical achievements. General, Captain Douglas's coordination techniques required understanding of aircraft capabilities that extends beyond standard training curricula. Her precision methods utilized A-10 performance characteristics that most pilots never explore. Staff Sergeant Mills approached with technical documentation that quantified aircraft performance during extended combat operations that had pushed mechanical systems beyond design parameters. Ma'am, all 4 aircraft functioned within acceptable parameters despite ammunition consumption and maneuvering requirements that exceeded normal operational envelopes. The technical assessment validated both pilot capabilities and aircraft reliability under combat conditions that challenged established limitations. Military procurement decisions could be influenced by evidence that existing equipment possessed capabilities exceeding official specifications when operated by properly trained personnel. Colonel Burns approached the discussion with special operations experience that provided battlefield perspective on tactical achievements that had prevented catastrophic losses of American elite capabilities. General, the enemy tactical innovations we faced today represented systematic efforts to eliminate our special operations effectiveness. Captain Douglas's coordination techniques defeated prepared strategies that conventional approaches couldn't counter. The strategic context added significance to tactical achievements that extended beyond individual mission success. Enemy forces had implemented coordinated strategies designed to exploit American doctrine limitations, but precision techniques and coordination innovations had validated American tactical superiority when properly applied. Master Sergeant Lane stepped forward with intelligence analysis that provided broader operational context for battlefield developments that challenged established assumptions about enemy capabilities and American response effectiveness. MAM, intercepted communications indicate enemy leadership is reassessing their tactical innovations based on today's results. They're acknowledging that American capabilities exceed their strategic planning assumptions. The intelligence assessment confirmed that tactical success had strategic implications extending throughout the theater of operations. Enemy forces would be forced to modify their approach patterns based on demonstrated American capabilities that challenged their planning assumptions about close air support limitations. Lieutenant Colonel Harrison continued his evaluation with questions that indicated Pentagon interest in systematizing tactical innovations for implementation across multiple aircraft platforms and training programs. Captain Douglas, could your precision techniques be adapted for other close air support aircraft, or are they specific to A-10 capabilities? Sir, the fundamental principles could be adapted to any platform with appropriate weapon systems and pilot training, Natalie replied, recognizing that her answer might influence procurement and training decisions affecting thousands of military personnel. The key factors are understanding aircraft capabilities beyond official specifications and developing precision techniques through intensive practice under realistic conditions. The conversation was developing implications that extended far beyond individual career considerations. Natalie realized that her tactical innovations were being evaluated as potential foundations for modifying American close air support doctrine throughout all military services. General Stone stepped forward with command authority that indicated important decisions were being formulated based on tactical achievements and their broader implications for military effectiveness. Captain Douglas, I'm recommending you for immediate assignment to the Air Force Tactical Development Program, where your techniques can be studied, systematized, and integrated into advanced training protocols. The assignment represented unprecedented career advancement based on battlefield innovation rather than gradual institutional progression. Military careers typically advanced through conventional channels that prioritized conformity over tactical creativity, but exceptional battlefield results were creating opportunities that challenged traditional promotion patterns. Colonel Palmer approached with institutional responsibility that required balancing recognition of exceptional performance against concerns about precedents being established for unauthorized tactical experimentation. General, while Captain Douglas's battlefield success is undeniable, we need to consider the implications of rewarding unauthorized tactical development that exceeded established safety protocols. The institutional concern was legitimate but complicated by battlefield results that exceeded all performance projections for close air support effectiveness. Military discipline required adherence to established procedures, but tactical innovation demanded exploration of capabilities beyond conventional limitations. Lieutenant Colonel Harrison addressed Palmer's concern with Pentagon perspective that prioritized tactical effectiveness over procedural conformity when American lives were at stake. Colonel, exceptional battlefield performance that saves American lives while defeating enemy tactical innovations deserves institutional support rather than disciplinary consideration. The Pentagon representative's position carried policy implications that would influence how military institutions evaluated tactical innovation versus procedural compliance. Battlefield success was validating approaches that challenged established doctrine, while demonstrating tactical capabilities that exceeded conventional projections. Captain Cross approached the discussion with pilot perspective that provided professional assessment of tactical techniques she had personally implemented under combat conditions that challenged established training parameters. General, Captain Douglas's coordination methods required understanding of precision targeting that most pilots never develop. Her preparation enabled tactical success that conventional approaches couldn't achieve. The peer evaluation from another pilot who had successfully implemented the precision techniques provided credible assessment of their effectiveness and potential for broader implementation across similar aircraft platforms and training programs. Chief Warrant Officer Webb joined the discussion with extraction operations perspective that validated the effectiveness of combined arms coordination when precision air support created tactical opportunities for rescue helicopter deployment. Ma'am, the coordination between precision strikes and extraction operations exceeded anything covered in conventional training. Captain Douglas created tactical possibilities that enabled successful rescue from prepared kill zones. The Combined Arms Assessment confirmed that tactical innovations had implications extending beyond individual aircraft capabilities to encompass broader coordination techniques that enhanced overall military effectiveness in complex operational environments. Staff Sergeant Mills provided additional technical perspective that quantified aircraft performance achievements during extended combat operations that had challenged mechanical systems and pilot capabilities simultaneously. General, the precision accuracy achieved during sustained combat operations exceeded manufacturer specifications while maintaining mechanical reliability under extreme conditions. The technical validation supported arguments for expanding tactical training to explore aircraft capabilities beyond conventional operational parameters, while maintaining mechanical safety standards that ensured continued effectiveness during extended combat operations. Senior Airman Boyd approached with communication reports that provided broader theater perspective on tactical achievements that had influenced operations beyond the immediate rescue mission. Ma'am, multiple units throughout the region are requesting tactical support using similar precision techniques. Word of today's success has generated demand for capabilities that exceed current availability. The operational demand validated the broader applicability of tactical innovations that had proven effective under extreme conditions. American forces throughout the theater were recognizing potential applications for precision techniques that could enhance mission effectiveness in challenging operational environments. Lieutenant Sierra Ford stepped forward with intelligence analysis that provided strategic context for tactical achievements that had influenced enemy planning assumptions and operational approaches throughout the region. General, enemy communications indicate significant modification of their tactical planning based on demonstrated American capabilities. They're reassessing strategies that assumed limitations in our close air support effectiveness. The strategic intelligence confirmed that tactical success had implications extending beyond immediate battlefield results to encompass broader enemy planning modifications that would influence future operational environments throughout the theater. General Stone concluded the discussion with command decisions that reflected institutional recognition of tactical achievements, while establishing frameworks for systematically implementing innovations that had proven effective under extreme combat conditions. Captain Douglas, your tactical innovations have demonstrated capabilities that exceed established doctrine while achieving battlefield results that validate systematic implementation of advanced precision techniques. The institutional recognition represented unprecedented acknowledgement that tactical innovation developed through unauthorized preparation could contribute to broader military effectiveness when properly integrated into training and operational protocols. As the crowd of military personnel gradually dispersed, Natalie realized that her months of unauthorized preparation had culminated not only in battlefield success, but in institutional changes that would influence American military aviation for years to come. The tactical techniques developed in secret had proven effective at scales that challenged theoretical projections while establishing precedents for innovation that exceeded conventional doctrine limitations. The administrative processing that followed successful combat missions had been replaced by strategic planning sessions that would determine how tactical innovations could be systematically implemented to enhance American close air support capabilities throughout all military services. Her unauthorized preparation had transformed from career-threatening insubordination into institutional validation that battlefield innovation could succeed when properly applied, under conditions that challenged established assumptions about tactical possibilities and operational effectiveness in complex combat environments. 6 months after the Helmand Valley rescue operation, Colonel Natalie Douglas stood before a classroom of senior military officers from across all service branches at the Air Force Tactical Development Center in Nevada. The students included lieutenant colonels and majors whose years of conventional experience were being challenged by precision techniques that had redefined close air support doctrine throughout the American military. The promotion to full colonel had come with unprecedented speed, bypassing traditional advancement timelines that prioritized institutional conformity over battlefield innovation. Her shoulder patch now read, Advanced Tactical Systems Development, a program created specifically to systematize precision techniques that had proven effective beyond theoretical projections. The key principle underlying danger-close precision engagement is understanding that technology serves technique, not the reverse, she explained to the assembled officers, her voice carrying the authority of someone whose theoretical knowledge had been validated under combat conditions that challenged established doctrine. Aircraft specifications represent minimum performance baselines, not maximum capability limitations. The classroom dynamics were unlike anything she had experienced during her years as an underestimated logistics coordinator. These senior officers took notes on presentations that challenged fundamental assumptions about air-to-ground engagement parameters. Their attention focused on tactical innovations that had transformed individual battlefield success into systematic military doctrine. General Stone, now serving as Commanding General of Air Combat Command, observed the training session from the back of the classroom with the kind of professional satisfaction that came from witnessing institutional transformation that enhanced American military effectiveness. The decision to create the Advanced Tactical Systems Development Program had proven correct through training results that exceeded projections for improving close air support capabilities. Lieutenant Colonel Martinez, a veteran F-16 pilot with 15 years of combat experience, raised his hand with the kind of respectful attention that characterized interactions between experienced professionals. "Colonel Douglas, your precision techniques require understanding of aircraft performance that exceeds standard training curricula. How do we systematically develop these capabilities across multiple aircraft platforms?" "The fundamental requirement is intensive preparation that goes beyond minimum qualification standards," Natalie replied, recognizing that her answer would influence training protocols affecting thousands of military personnel. "Pilots must understand their aircraft capabilities completely, study tactical environments obsessively, and practice precision techniques under realistic conditions that challenge conventional limitations." The teaching methods she employed drew directly from her months of unauthorized preparation that had ultimately enabled unprecedented tactical success. The difference now was institutional support for training approaches that had previously been dismissed as inappropriate ambition exceeding assigned responsibilities. Major Chen, an A-10 pilot from the Pacific Theater, approached the tactical display with questions that reflected operational requirements developing throughout multiple combat zones. "Colonel, enemy forces worldwide are implementing variations of the coordinated strategies we faced in Afghanistan. How do we adapt these precision techniques for different operational environments?" "The tactical principles remain consistent regardless of geographic location," Natalie explained while manipulating the digital display to show terrain variations that required modified approaches. "Enemy forces may adapt their strategies, but precision engagement fundamentals apply across all operational environments when properly understood and implemented." The classroom discussion reflected broader institutional changes that had occurred throughout American military aviation, following the systematic implementation of precision techniques that challenged conventional doctrine while achieving battlefield results that exceeded performance projections. Staff Sergeant Mills, now promoted to Master Sergeant and serving as Senior Technical Instructor for the program, approached with aircraft performance data that quantified capabilities being explored through advanced training protocols. "Colonel, our students are achieving precision accuracy that exceeds manufacturer specifications by significant margins when they complete the intensive preparation protocols." The technical validation confirmed that systematic implementation of advanced training techniques was producing measurable improvements in pilot capabilities across multiple aircraft platforms and operational environments. Military procurement decisions were being influenced by evidence that existing equipment possessed capabilities exceeding official specifications when operated by properly trained personnel. Colonel Nathan Burns, now serving as Deputy Commander of Special Operations Command, joined the discussion with operational perspective that provided battlefield context for training achievements that were influencing special operations effectiveness throughout multiple theaters. "Colonel Douglas, special operations units worldwide are requesting tactical support utilizing precision techniques developed through your training programs. Demand exceeds current pilot availability." The operational demand validated broader applicability of training innovations that were enhancing American military effectiveness across multiple combat environments. Special operations forces were recognizing potential applications for precision techniques that improved mission success rates while reducing casualties during complex tactical operations. Master Sergeant Ruby Lane approached with intelligence analysis that provided strategic context for training programs that were influencing enemy tactical planning throughout multiple theaters of operation. "Colonel, intercepted communications from various enemy organizations indicate significant modifications of their strategies based on demonstrated American precision capabilities. They're acknowledging that previous tactical assumptions were incorrect." The strategic intelligence confirmed that training innovations were having implications extending beyond immediate battlefield effectiveness to encompass broader enemy planning modifications that would influence future operational environments across multiple theaters of conflict. Lieutenant Commander Owen Tucker, now promoted to Commander and serving as Navy liaison to the training program, provided special operations perspective on tactical achievements that had influenced rescue doctrine throughout all military services. Colonel, the coordination techniques developed through your programs have been implemented across all services with measurable improvements in extraction success rates and casualty reduction. The inter-service implementation represented institutional recognition that tactical innovations developed through individual preparation could contribute to broader military effectiveness when properly systematized and integrated into training protocols across multiple service branches. Captain Melody Cross, who had transitioned from conformist pilot to advanced tactical instructor, approached with peer perspective that provided professional assessment of career developments that had challenged traditional advancement patterns. Natalie, you've demonstrated that exceptional preparation and tactical innovation can create opportunities that exceed conventional career progression timelines. The peer observation reflected broader changes in military career patterns that were beginning to recognize tactical excellence as a foundation for leadership advancement rather than simply administrative competence and institutional conformity. General Stone stepped forward to address the assembled officers with command perspective that placed individual achievements within broader strategic context affecting American military capabilities worldwide. Colonel Douglas has demonstrated that tactical innovation, when properly developed and systematically implemented, can enhance American military effectiveness beyond established projections. The institutional recognition represented unprecedented acknowledgement that individual tactical creativity could contribute to strategic military advantages when properly supported through systematic training and doctrine development, rather than dismissed as inappropriate ambition exceeding assigned responsibilities. The training session concluded with assignment distribution for advanced tactical exercises that would test precision techniques under simulated combat conditions designed to challenge conventional limitations while validating systematic implementation of coordination methods that had proven effective during actual combat operations. As the officers filed out of the classroom to begin practical exercises, Natalie reflected on the transformation that had occurred since the morning when Colonel Palmer had grounded her from routine training exercises because she was deemed too emotional and inexperienced for complex tactical operations. The flight line at the Tactical Development Center buzzed with aircraft configured for advanced precision training that pushed pilot capabilities beyond conventional parameters while maintaining safety standards that ensured continued effectiveness during extended operations. A-10s, F-16s, and F/A-18s were being utilized to explore tactical possibilities that exceeded manufacturer specifications through systematic training approaches. Staff Sergeant Keith Mills approached with technical reports that documented aircraft performance during advanced training operations that were exploring capabilities beyond established operational envelopes. Colonel, all aircraft platforms are demonstrating precision capabilities that exceed official specifications when operated by pilots completing intensive preparation protocols. The technical validation supported expansion of training programs to encompass multiple aircraft types and operational environments while maintaining mechanical reliability that ensured sustained effectiveness during extended combat operations. Major Vanessa Reed, now serving as Deputy Director of the Advanced Tactical Systems Development Program, joined the discussion with administrative perspective that provided institutional context for program expansion that was influencing military training throughout all service branches. Natalie, we have requests from allied nations for training programs utilizing precision techniques that have proven effective across multiple operational environments. The international interest represented recognition that American tactical innovations were being observed and evaluated by allied military organizations seeking to enhance their own close air support capabilities through systematic implementation of advanced training methods. Colonel Palmer, who had been reassigned to serve as administrative director of the program despite his initial skepticism about unconventional tactical approaches, approached with institutional perspective that reflected changed understanding about the relationship between individual innovation and broader military effectiveness. Colonel Douglas, your tactical achievements have challenged my assumptions about the relationship between unauthorized preparation and military discipline, Palmer admitted with professional honesty that reflected institutional learning rather than personal criticism. I've learned that exceptional preparation can create tactical capabilities that benefit American military effectiveness even when developed outside established protocols. The institutional acknowledgement represented broader changes in military leadership understanding about the relationship between individual initiative and systematic military effectiveness, recognizing that tactical innovation could enhance rather than threaten military discipline when properly channeled. As the day's training operations commenced across the flight line, aircraft took off for exercises designed to explore precision capabilities that pushed pilot and machine performance beyond conventional limitations, while validating systematic approaches that enhanced tactical effectiveness across multiple operational scenarios. HEAS, the mountains surrounding the Tactical Development Center, provided training environments that challenged pilots to apply precision techniques under conditions that simulated the complex tactical requirements they might encounter during actual combat operations worldwide. General Stone approached with final administrative matters that would influence long-term program development and institutional implementation of training innovations that were enhancing American military capabilities across multiple theaters of operation. Colonel Douglas, the Secretary of Defense, has approved expansion of the Advanced Tactical Systems Development Program to encompass all military services with full institutional support for systematic implementation of precision techniques that have proven effective under combat conditions. Stone announced with command authority that confirmed institutional commitment to tactical innovation. The institutional support represented complete transformation from individual tactical experimentation to systematic military doctrine that would influence American military effectiveness for years to come through training programs that challenged conventional limitations while maintaining safety standards. As the sun set over the Nevada training facility, Natalie looked across flight operations that represented institutional validation of preparation techniques that had once been dismissed as inappropriate ambition. The aircraft conducting advanced tactical exercises were flown by pilots whose precision capabilities exceeded conventional projections through systematic training that challenged established limitations. The transformation from underestimated logistics coordinator to senior tactical instructor represented more than individual career advancement. It demonstrated that institutional barriers to tactical innovation could be overcome through exceptional preparation combined with battlefield success that validated unconventional approaches to military effectiveness. The 287 American lives saved during the Helmand Valley operation had become the foundation for training programs that were enhancing military capabilities worldwide, proving that individual tactical excellence could contribute to strategic advantages when properly developed and systematically implemented throughout American military organizations. Her unauthorized preparation had transformed from career-threatening insubordination into institutional doctrine that would influence American military aviation for generations, demonstrating that sometimes the most important military innovations emerged from individual initiative that exceeded conventional expectations about what was possible when lives depended on tactical excellence. The end. Up next, 2 more incredible stories are waiting for you right on your screen. If you enjoy this one, you won't want to miss this. Just click to watch. And don't forget to subscribe. It would mean a lot.